Well, it's 5 in the morning. I'm going to play some World of Warcraft on my own self-hosted server. But we're looking at the art. Let me turn this down a little bit. This is a really loud intro. So loud. Alright. So yeah, I've had this for a while. This is the art of World of Warcraft from a 2015 book. But this is Burning Crusade right here. I said I like this game. I think the first two expansions were really good. This is Burning Crusade. That's the opening of Encourage. Hell yeah, dude. The resolution's really good. Now here's Wrath of the Lich King, which is what we're playing. Of course, these are scans of the pages. This is fucking good. So anyway, this is here's the book right here, The Art of World of Warcraft. There's two versions of this. One came out when the game came out. I think it was like 2004, maybe 2005 is when the first book came out. And then this one was from 2015, which has a little bit more. It's actually a little bit different too. For instance, the original Art of World of Warcraft had a picture of my thumbnail that I'm using for this stream right here. A picture of Thunderbluff on two different pages, but this one has it on one page. See that? It's fucking huge. So in the original Art of World of Warcraft, there's a big crease in the center because this is on two different pages, and so when you open it, it's not complete like this one is. So this is huge. It's actually running kind of slow on my computer. But yeah, I want to play some. This is my own server, of course. I prefer playing WoW this way now. I don't want to play on Retail Realms anymore. I don't want Blizzard to have any kind of control over my characters or what I do or what I consider to be fun, such as the name that I chose, Fagbo. I don't want Blizzard dictating my character names. I never liked that. Here's a story I never really talked about. When this game first came out, it was, I think, November 2004, something like that. I saw the collector's edition on the shelf at Best Buy. I went in there with my roommate at the time, and I had just read somewhere on the internet that Blizzard was going to limit people on what names they chose. And I had never played an MMO in my life at that point. But when I heard that, I punched the box at Best Buy. No, I didn't damage it or anything. I just thought it was so stupid to tell gamers that they have to choose a name that's approved by Blizzard. I was like, what kind of game is this where there's this many fucking rules, dude? I punched the box, the collector's edition box at Best Buy. But then again, I ended up buying the regular game, I don't know, like a month later or two. I bought it in January 2020, or January 2005 is when I bought this game, Vanilla WoW. Because the main thing that turned me was the GameSpot video review by Greg Kasavin. And you can find that on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in GameSpot 2005 Warcraft review, you'll see Greg Kasavin, and he talks about how awesome the game is. And my roommate and I watched it, and we looked at each other and said, we can't really consider ourselves gamers if we don't at least give it a try, because it looks pretty awesome. So we did. But yeah, I was already that pissed. That's just kind of how I've always been about shit like that. Like, I never liked when games limited you in what you can do. So running your own WoW server in 2025 is one way to get the power back that we've never had in this game. Choose whatever character name you want, do whatever you want, say whatever you want, call the bots cocksuckers, you know. Not that I'm saying that that's fun, just insulting everybody all the time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, freedom, man. That's what games have always kind of been about. This guy says hot. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to open up voice chat. And I'm just going to kind of game. Because I like this game a lot. Alright, we gotta ride the Zeppelin to Gromgall Base. Let's go. 5 in the morning and I'm already gaming. You know, I kind of want to play a Death Knight too. I want to play it all. I don't know, are the Death Knight voiced? Is the Death Knight starting area voiced? I'm not sure. I don't know. And what would it sound like? What would those guys sound like? Undead? I don't know. But I think, if I remember right, the whole Death Knight campaign works on Azerothcore. If you want to run your own World of Warcraft server, all you need is a decent PC. It doesn't have to be all that powerful. It can even be a laptop. You know? You could probably run it on 4 cores with 32 gigs of memory. Oh shit, I just made it. Woo! See how long it takes for my guys. Oh, instantly. Alright. Come buff me. If you can. They have trouble on the boat sometimes. I summon them and they slip off. Oh, oh, whoa! He made it. The other 2 guys didn't. I called the stream DRM Free Gaming because, if you don't know, DRM means Digital Rights Management. And it's very prevalent today, where basically any game that you buy on Steam, you don't actually own, you're renting it. Because it has DRM, meaning they can push a button and you lose access to your game that you paid full price for. That's DRM. That fucking blows. That's antithetical to gaming. When you buy a video game, you should fucking own it. Period. No matter what you do or say in it, no matter how much you try to hack it, you should fucking own it. It's your game. You paid for it. But DRM kind of disables that, and you don't own your shit anymore. And that's unacceptable to someone like me. You might not agree, but then again, what are you doing on my internet? Alright, we gotta get over there. Shit. I don't have any water walking. But I could get a shaman in here that does have water walking. Let's get a shaman in here. Oops. I meant this. Disconnect. Leave group. Bring in a shaman right here. Summon the shaman to me. Okay. And then you go to spells. Check the spell book of a bot. Highlight yourself and hit water walking. Oh, he doesn't have fish oil. So I have to add item to that guy. I'm going to give him 30 fish oil, and I'm going to target myself again and click this. There he goes. He just cast water walking on me. Meaning, I can now walk on water. And he should cast it on himself, actually, but he didn't. So I'm going to target him. There he goes. Now I just cast it on himself. Okay. Now he should have water walking, too. There you go. See? You can get your little bots to cast whatever spell you want. I don't know how to macro that. I kind of wish I knew how to macro this, so like if you see my group, I can just instantly have them cast it right on me, you know, faster. There's probably a way to do it. I just don't know how. But it's nice to have a shaman with water walking. And I think, who else has water walking? I think it's a warlock, or warlocks have underwater breathing. I'm not sure. I don't remember who else now. So what spec is this guy? He's elemental. Well, let's have him be enhancement. There we go. Okay. Auto gear. There you go. Another thing is I never really leveled a shaman either. Well, I kind of did later on, but I don't know if that really counts. So I gotta go to the stone box. I heard like Wind Fury shamans. I don't know about in Wrath of Lich King, but one thing I'd like to do also. Oh, if you guys don't know, you can save your character at any time. So I'm level 38. What I'm gonna do is when I hit 39, I'm gonna save a copy of my character. Why? Well, because I want to try this twinking thing that people always talk about. Taking like level 39 or 49 or 59 character or whatever and bringing them to do Battlegrounds or PvP. Apparently, if you gear them out pretty good, you can kick a lot of ass. So I'm going to type .pdump right fagbo and then the name of the file. I think I'm going to name it fagbo38. I got to do it the other way around. Fagbo38 is the file name, and then the character name is Fagbo. Character dumped successfully. So now I have an exact copy of where my character is. All of his gear, all of his talents, all of everything is saved into a single file that I can re-import on my server, and I'll have a duplicate copy of this character right here. You can do that anytime you want, and you can name it any file name you want. There's no limit. Unlimited copies of characters. I think I could do it with this guy too. Let's try it. Pdump, right. I'll just name it Vochbot, because his name is really long. VOCHEHUGIE. Am I spelling that right? All right, let me... Okay, let me just copy his name then. It's a little bit easier. All right. Pdump, right, Vochbot. There it goes. Yeah, I just dumped him now. Now that means I can import him onto my fucking account, and I'll have an exact copy of this guy as he is right here on my account that I can play. Isn't that awesome? That's the benefit of running your own World of Warcraft server, is that you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's pretty fun. You could try all sorts of things. It's just amazing. Unlimited possibilities. Again, I've talked about it before in my tutorial video. If you want to play totally legitimately, you can do that too. No cheating, no advantages at all. Walk everywhere if you want. You can even set your bots to RPG everywhere. Like, they'll actually walk everywhere, or walk indoors at least, and they'll behave like an RP ROM or whatever the fuck. Greetings, salutations. Hello, adventurer. Nice to meet you, adventurer. Would you like to go run dead mines? You know, whatever. It's your fucking game. You can roleplay the fuck out of it if you want. I like, you know, I'm not a role player, but I like that you can do that if you want. It's just more power for you. More power. Yeah. Oh shit. Now if you get hit while you have this water walking, you lose the water walking buff. One hit is all you need and you lose it. You could probably change that if you want, but I'm not going to go through the trouble. I kind of want it, you know, fairly authentic. Okay, so now I got to use this shit. Oh, he was already ready to kick ass. You can limit the gear that your bots get, so you can make them really weak if you want. Like no blues at all, only greens or only grays or whatever. You can set all that shit up. It's amazing. It's amazing. I gotta remember to save my guy at 39 though. Because I do want to try to twink him the fuck up. I'll get over here so I can get my water walking again. Why has it failed? Is he out of that shit already? Doesn't he have any fish oil? Did he delete them? I don't know what the fuck he did with them. But you can check their inventory here. And let's see, where is it? It says he had 28 fish oil. And that's true. So what the hell happened to his other fish oil then? There it is right there, fish oil. It says 28. I see he has some items in his bags. I don't know if I can get him to trade these with me or not. It's not something I've really dealt with in this game, but you can... I don't know why. Let me see if I can trade with him. So let's say if I want that armor. Oh, it's soulbound. Never mind. Okay. He's got soulbound items on him. Alright, never mind. Okay. Anyway. You used to be able to force the bots to give you their gold. They don't do it anymore, though. They took it out. Of course, you could probably add it back, but when you traded a bot, you opened a trade window, and you typed in gold in chat, he puts that amount of gold in the trade window, and then you hit trade, and you can actually hear him say, oh, like he's like bummed out. He gave you his gold. Gnomes are only good for one thing. What's that? Shit, where am I going, man? I'm fucking talking here. He's waiting for me and I'm sitting here chit-chatting. Oh, he's not walking on the surface anymore. You idiot. You dumb fucking bot. Okay, let's see. Where the fuck? I gotta click this tablet. Okay. Yeah, dude, he's awesome. He's awesome. I want to do a Warlock too, man. Warlock is... I've never put up with leveling a Warlock, and I kind of want to do it. If I do a Warlock, maybe I'll do a Draenei, because I've never... Can you do a Draenei Warlock? Maybe not. But like a race I never did before. Especially with the AI voice chat. It's pretty awesome. Cool. Alright. This game is fucking awesome. I don't care what anybody fucking says. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. Uh-oh, he's gonna hit me. Fuck you! Just look at the art in this game. This is from 2003, 2004, and this art still looks good. It's just a masterpiece. The music is fucking great. The gameplay is actually fucking awesome for an MMO. I mean, I do, honestly, I mean, I shouldn't do it, but I do. I lower my standards a little bit for MMOs, just because they're completely different games than real games. I gotta get better at this. He doesn't really need water walking, but I do. The fucking conversations these bots have. Is there any point to improve my rep with Ratchet? Guy replies, fuck you, man. That's real WoW right there, dude. That's genuine. I accidentally hit my shit. Oh, fuck! I went right off the goddamn edge. Goddamn disengage. Where's my guy, man? There he is. He gave me water breathing? Alright, this shaman's pissing me off now. He's like too slow. He's not keeping up with me. Don't be mad, I'm gooning like a Sigma? Whatever the fuck you're talking about. Okay, I'm gonna kick this shaman. I don't need him anymore. I have my crew. Get on real quick. What, that's the gayest fucking wave ever, dude? What is that shit? That's how the Blood Elf waves? That is so homosexual. Okay. Time to listen to my book. Alright. Okay, let's go. Here we go.
Designs was a recipe for paranoia, and indeed, the resulting dish nourished critics for years. But to the NSA, this point was non-negotiable. The Fort Meade Brain Trust might have considered it a necessary evil to allow a strong crypto algorithm into the world of banks and corporations. But permitting the release of sophisticated techniques that might encourage outsiders to bulletproof their own codes, well, that was quite unacceptable. The whole episode turned out to embody in a nutshell a dilemma that the NSA had yet to acknowledge, even to itself. For years, people at the fort could be reasonably confident that when they devised a breakthrough technique like differential cryptanalysis, such information would be unlikely to tumble into the public domain. Those days were over. Consider that the IBM group had come across the T-attack on its own, without the help of government. Differential cryptanalysis was ultimately a mathematical technique just waiting to be rediscovered by someone outside the Triple Fence interested in sophisticated codes. The NSA couldn't hold on to such mathematical machinations any more than an astronomer discovering a previously unknown nebula could cover up the skies to mask its presence to future stargazers. This was to be the reality of the dawning era of public crypto. Whether the NSA liked it or not, bright minds were inevitably going to reinvent the techniques and ideas that had been formerly quarantined at Fort Meade, and maybe come up with some ideas never contemplated even by the elite cryptographers behind the Triple Fence. S-boxes aside, the most controversial feature of DES would be its key length. Horst Feistel's Lucifer specified a 128-bit key. But clearly, the National Security Agency did not want the national encryption standard, even if it were used only by financial institutions and corporations, to lock information within such a mighty safe. By the time the algorithm had threaded its way through the Triple Fence and was released as a potential NBS standard, the key length had been cut in half, and then cut some more, down to the relatively paltry 56 bits. It's hard to exaggerate the difference this makes. Assume that a codebreaker trying to crack DES is unable to discover any shortcuts to cracking. The only way that an intruder can recover an encrypted message, then, is to launch a brute force attack, experimenting with every possible key combination until he finds the one that was used to scramble the original. Such a search is the equivalent of a safecracker painstakingly twisting the dial to stumble upon the exact series of numbers that would align the tumblers. Even with a computer twisting the virtual dials at high speed, a very large key space, a numerical range that contains all possible key combinations, can make such a search impossible to pull off. A 128-bit key is very, very large. If a computer tried 1 million keys every second, a million different combinations of the numbers on the safe dial, it would take eons to try every possible key. So what would be the effect of cutting the key size in half? To assess this, you have to keep in mind the nature of digital numbers. Each bit in a binary key is like a fork in the road that a codebreaker must negotiate in order to get to the destination of the correct combination of ones and zeros. Every fork presents a random choice between the correct turn and the wrong turn. A 128-bit key means that you have to guess the correct way to turn 128 times in a row. To make the course twice as difficult, you simply have to add one more fork. Then you've created twice as many possible paths to negotiate, but still only one is correct. But to make the course half as difficult, you don't divide the number of forks by 2, but simply remove 1. That's why removing a single bit from the key size means that the encrypted message is only half as safe as it was before. Switching from a 128-bit key to a 127-bit key means you're cutting by half the work factor to break it. If you cut the key size one more bit to 126 bits, then you've halved that key, and so on. According to Tuckman, the Kingston Group figured that a 128-bit key was not only overkill, but would require too much chip space and computation. We had to fit the whole algorithm on there, says Tuckman. The S-boxes, everything. We were using 2-micron CMOS chips, and the data coming in could only be 8 bytes wide. 1 byte equals 8 bits. So our first key length was 64 bits. 64 bits was a good fit for a chip, a number divisible by the 8-bit bytes. This was quite a dramatic reduction. It cut down the time required for a full search on the theoretical million keys a second computer from billions of years to around 300,000. Still, a 64-bit key length was considerable in the mid-1970s, especially since it was agreed that computer technology would not be sufficiently advanced to conduct searches at such speeds for the next couple of decades. But then the Kingston Group made a seemingly inexplicable second cut to the mathematically awkward key length of 56 bits. And suddenly, the possibility of a brute force attack was smack in the picture. Why did a lousy 8 bits make such a difference? Remember, every time the key is reduced by a single bit, it becomes twice as easy to crack. So this 8-bit loss made the cipher 256 times easier to crack, from 300,000 years to a little over 1,000. Put another way, the percentage of key space that formerly would have occupied a foe's computers from January to August could now be scanned in less than a day. What was IBM's explanation for this? According to Tuckman, it was standard company practice in hardware design to allow a certain number of extra bits for parity checks, a sort of synchronization to make sure that the electronic signals were being properly read. It was an IBM internal spec, he says, at the same time admitting that it was a foolish requirement. We don't do that anymore, but at the time we had a standard, so I had to reduce the key size to accommodate the extra bits. Tuckman didn't think that this further cut really compromised Des. Privately disagreeing.
So, all right, in World of Warcraft there's events, and on your own server you can type .event space active list, and you can see what events are currently active. And there's quite a bit right now. Sun's Reach Reclamation Phase 3. SWP All Gates Open. Evening is active. Nocturnal Fishing Event is active. Arena Season 8 is active. Brew of the Month. Edge of Madness. Called Arms Warsong Gulch. I don't think they're actually in Warsong right now. I don't think anybody's in there. Nope. I think... What the fuck is this? Unknown? He's in an unknown zone? Wow, that's weird. Weird. I wonder what happens if I teleport to him. Alright, so this active list. I want to see... (7:18 a.m.) spawn 7 a.m. Children of Goldshire. Okay. Oh, event info. That's it. Here we go. Event dot event space info space 74. Event number 74. Children of Goldshire. Start. End. Occurrence 1 day. Length 1 hour. Next state of change. 8 a.m. That's today. That's in 2.5 hours. I could actually start it early. I took some time to fucking test this shit. You can change the date and time on your Linux machine, and you can get this to start earlier. In fact, you can even type .event start or event start 74 and event stop 74, and all this other shit. You can start it early. I was learning all these different commands. And then I got this go command, which teleports me right to where they start. And yeah, I took a lot of notes on this stuff. They will stop in front of Orgrimmar and wait 11 minutes. We'll do random movements during the wait. They will proceed to Goldshire and wait 15 minutes and we'll do a random movement. They will proceed to the woods and wait 6 minutes and do random movement. They will return to the house and one of the girls will run away. After 30 seconds of the children returning back to the house, random sounds will play. That creeped a lot of people out, man. Like when they found out the Children of Goldshire, it's 7 or 8 in the morning. That little event. It's kind of weird, yeah. But I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to finish this quest. Damn it, dude. There's my pet. I want to get to level 60, though, because I want to start doing this Burning Crusade quest and hear the new narration. Because I only heard it so far at the beginning of this Blood Elf. Where'd that fucker go?
With this was Horst Feistel, who still preferred a 128-bit key. But he was no longer actively involved with the project and would soon be quietly eased out of IBM itself. Tuchman and his colleague Carl Meyer believed that a 56-bit key, with its 70 quadrillion variations, was more than sufficient for the commercial, even the financial, secrets that DES would protect. The idea of DES, Tuchman would argue, was to provide computer networks the level of security that people had in their physical workplaces. Locked desk drawers, locked doors on computer rooms, and loyal, well-behaved employees. Not the military secrets customarily transported in exploding briefcases handcuffed to couriers or entrusted to spies who were taught to ingest poison pills upon capture.
Your knowledge of the jungle is strong, adventurer. These specimens will be perfect. I will thank the spirits for sacrificing such fine beasts for the cause of the Horde.
The items you gathered from the feline beasts of the Vale are only the first requirement for a powerful enchanted item. These jungle trinkets, combined with my shamanistic ritual, will provide you with a very useful tool in assisting the Horde and the War Chief. But now you must gather for me some jungle stalker feathers. The feathers are traditionally worn by the beasts on their armbands. You will find a tribe of the raptors directly south of Gromgol, not far from the Great Arena.
Damn, I'm making some money off that auction house, dude. One cool thing about Sea Mangoes, as opposed to Azerothcore, though, is that in Sea Mangoes, you can get the bots to not only craft items themselves, but post those items on the auction house themselves. So that's pretty realistic. They don't do it in Azerothcore like that.
Relax.
Fly to Booty Bay.
Where would you like to fly to?
Others, however, have always believed that the reduction was caused by NSA pressure. This even included skeptics inside IBM, like Alan Conheim, who headed the mathematical team on the DES project. 56 bits is very unnatural, says Conheim. Obviously,
Well, I remember there was some Windows operating system, I think, that was 56-bit. It was either 40 or 56-bit, I'm trying to remember. Hopefully this book brings it up.
disregarding Tuchman's parity check explanation.
And I said it yesterday, but I guess I'll say it again. If you click that voice chat that's pinned and you want to talk to me, we have...
End-to-end encryption is on.
Yes, it's real and it works. It's fantastic.
End-to-end encryption is off.
Can you believe that? YouTube doesn't even have end-to-end encryption. So anything you type on YouTube can be seen, of course, by YouTube and governments and whatever. But if I enable that in voice chat and I stop streaming, our conversation's totally private. We have encryption.
Government must have said, listen, 64 bits is too much. Make it 56. Why would IBM go along with it? You see, IBM does business all over the world. It can't send a pencil outside the United States without an export license. Not only that, when the NSA invokes patriotism and national security, well, these things are not things you can argue about. To outsiders like Martin Hellman and Whit Diffie, of course,
Welcome to Booty Bay, partner. I hope your stay in my town is enjoyable and uneventful. Emphasis on the latter. We've got plenty of drink if you're thirsty, and plenty of bouncers if you're antsy. Now then, what can this humble servant of the Steam Weedle cartel do for you? Better still.
Dude, that's awesome, dude. That is AI voice chat reading that dialogue. That's not a real voice actor. That is an AI voice chat through an add-on in this game now that you can install.
Welcome to Booty Bay, partner. I hope your stay in my town is enjoyable and uneventful. Emphasis on the latter. We've got plenty of drink if you're thirsty, and plenty of bouncers if you're antsy. Now then, what can this humble servant of the Steam Weedle cartel do for you? Better still, what can you do for me, eh? Now, let me just get a copy of these blueprints for my own notes, and you can bring these straight to Potzik. Wouldn't want him to think that one of his sponsors was abandoning him. You should be all set to go. Give Podzik my regards and tell him that if he ever needs anything, not to hesitate to ask. I'll be waiting for the news that he breaks the track record soon.
The way he said "now then," that was well timed. It was realistic. Well then, now then. So I see Alliance over there. I'm getting kind of nervous because Alliance is, when you're on a PvP realm, they get pretty horny to attack you. So let me bring my backup just in case. Auto gear. There we go. Now they're level 39 and they're DPS specs. Actually, what's cool is that you can actually spec them specifically for PvP. If you whisper a guy and type talents spec list, I'm gonna do talents spec Fury PvP. Or no, arms PvP. See? And I type auto gear, and now he's geared for that. Now he's a PvP spec. I don't know there's much of a difference at this level, but same thing with this paladin. Talents spec list. Talents spec ret PvP. Auto gear. Talents spec list. I'm gonna do talent spec resto PvP just for the fuck of it. Type auto gear. Now he's more geared towards resto PvP, which is, you know, just in case that fucking warrior, that high level warrior comes and attacks me. People worked hard on this, man. This shit is possible because programmers developed this. And they're constantly working on it. I've never really been a huge fan of PvP in this game, but occasionally I like to jump in and mix it up. But you can create, as you can see, a fucking pre-made group. Like, you know, strictly spec'd for PvP. And you can have them group with you, and you can team up, and you can cooperatively run Warsong Gulch, or I think even AV, Alterac Valley. I haven't really done it lately, but apparently it actually works, and they do what they're supposed to do in there. Big fucking 40-man battles and shit.
The key size was a smoking gun that proved the NSA had weakened the standard for its own nefarious purposes. In the months after the standard was first announced, the Stanford cryptographers wrote a steady stream of suggestions and objections to their contact at the National Bureau of Standards, and became increasingly frustrated that the officials kept insisting that there was no problem. Hellman came to believe that the NBS wasn't speaking for itself, but was acting as a stooge for Fort Meade. To prove his point about the weakness of the key size, Hellman challenged an executive he knew at IBM to contradict his and Diffie's contention that this DES key could actually fall in a day to a sophisticated, high-powered machine. At this point, the Stanford researchers were postulating that such a machine could be built for $20 million. Thus, if one key were broken each day, over a 5-year period, the price of breaking each key would be around $10,000. Not a bad investment if some of the broken messages included precious data, like
Time is money, friend. Have a good one. Ah, potential customer. Keep it real. Yo! Keep it real.
Oh, I do have a question about PvP if you're still there and you can answer it. So it's been a long time since I've done Wrath of the Lich King PvP. Now I'm trying to remember, they didn't have resilience in the game yet, I don't think, at this point. So my question is it better to use just normal PvE gear? Or maybe like this BOA shit? I don't know if this is better or if it's like weakened in PvP, I forget. Because I looked up a couple level 39 twink guides and they recommend all sorts of random weird gear. So it looks like it's all PvE gear. I don't know if there's stamina specific or resilience specific gear at this point yet. So if not, I guess you just basically want gear with the most damage, I suppose. As long as you have like a healer with you. Especially for a hunter, you want to just blow shit up. So I don't know if this charmed ancient bone bow here is like better than any other bow in the game at this level 39 here. I don't know if you have any insight on that or not. I think Insignia of the Horde, yeah, that exists. Oh, there's an inherited one. Oh, there is resilience here. Okay. This one doesn't have resilience, but this one does. Yeah, this one would be better then. I remember the building you have to go to in Orgrimmar to stop your experience gain if you want to be at twink or whatever, so you don't get experience. But I don't intend to do that on this character. That's why I made a copy of him. I'll do it on the copy, and I'll name him differently. He'll be a separate character, I guess. Oh yeah, that's right. When I hit 40, I get these new jagged arrows. That's right. Probably want to be a different spec too, really. Yeah, I'm just not a PvP guy, you know. I did it in Burning Crusade for a while, because with a Burning Crusade Hunter, holy shit, you could, there were so many spells that were off the global cooldown, man, and you could just do so much in Burning Crusade. I think they lessened that a little bit in Wrath of Lich King. Boom. Boom. Just fucking around. Yeah, get to it. Just level already, goddammit. Yeah. Who wants some? Me? Haven't done any twinks, only because until recently the bots just all leveled to 80 and stuck there. Okay. But I believe I found a way to make them randomly de-level back to 1 and start over. Yeah, there's a setting in the config file too. And there's like a sync setting and stuff, and you can always delete them at any time, and so they're constantly renewing and replenishing the level cycle. Yeah. I resemble that remark.
Oil reserve locations and corporate merger plans. Such information was worth millions. But even if we were off by a whole order of magnitude and it would cost $100,000, that wouldn't matter, says Hellman. Because in 5 years, computers would be 10 times faster, and the solution would cost only 1/10 as much as it would now. According to Hellman, the IBM executive ordered his own researchers to investigate. He called me back and said that their numbers were in the same ballpark as ours, says Hellman. That was his exact word. Size was set by the NBS, not IBM. Meanwhile,
If I remember right, I think my warlock friend in Vanilla had to come here to get like this pet, Lesser Infernal, or his mount or something, which was a really cool fiery horse mount for his warlock. It's like a level 40 quest mount or something like that. It was free, but it involved a bunch of quests and crap, like a nice big quest line. And I think he even had to go to Dire Maul and kill the last boss in Dire Maul West, I think. So yeah, a lot of shit. This game has so much shit, dude. It's fucking huge. But it's actually like really engaging, even if you've never played this game before. This game, I think, would be even engaging to new players. So if you got kids and shit, you might want to run your own server and get them interested in this. It's fun, and you know, it's family friendly for fun for all and all that jazz.
Well, I know not what connection you have with my brother, but it would seem he has trust with you, adventurer. I am Nataka Longmore, and would like to welcome you to Ghostwalker Post. We have many needs of a adventurer. Talk with others. Perhaps there is need of you here.
Click the what?
I have just the thing for you.
I'm gonna sell that on the auction house. Eastern Kingdoms. What the fuck? I have to go all the way over there? Holy shit. Okay, so... oh, God. Oh, whoops. I don't know how that happened.
Well, officials at the NBS were assuring Hellman, in their responses to his frequent, increasingly pointed letters, that their own studies showed that a machine like the one envisioned by Hellman would take all of 91 years to search through a DES key space. Obviously, they were not playing in the same ballpark. Hellman believed that all of this was bald evidence that the data encryption standard was a swindle from the start. It was all the NSA's master plan. The supposedly benign...
I tried to get my son and his friends to play. They said, that's what my grandpa plays. Isn't that funny about kids, dude? If you don't want them to like something, all you have to do is like it, and then they won't like it anymore. Oh, you like Roblox? Me too. Oh, God, why'd you have to say that, Grandpa? Roblox is bitchin'. And you instantly ruin it for them. Nice job. Oh, fuck. Oh. Come on, where's my backup? Shh. Need backup right now. That took a long time to get on, holy crap. I could have died! Now I have a real screenshot. My paladin got up here somewhere. Let me recreate the screenshot. Somehow my paladin got on the top of this wall. I don't remember how he did. Probably got up on that tower there and jumped onto the wall or something. And from Vanilla WoW, actual Vanilla WoW, on my paladin, I can find the screenshot actually if you want. Let me get it right now actually, because I do have it handy. Let's see. Here it is. Let me put it on the screen. Okay. What you're looking at right here in the middle is a screenshot I took in Vanilla WoW. And let me zoom it in a little bit so you can see it. I was level 41. My character's name was Nerv. I was a paladin. And I was on this rock somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to fly over to it. God, how the fuck did I even get there, dude? So yeah, if you look on the screenshot, it's like right here somewhere. How the fuck did I even get there, dude? Maybe I was... No, I wasn't flying. I was actually there. Isn't that weird? I don't know how the fuck I even did that, but... I'm like standing somewhere like right here, I think. I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking across the field, and I could see all the way, if you look very far off into the distance... Sorry, this is not the easiest to maneuver. If you look at the very top of the screen, right to the right of that tree, the tree branch, you see one of those fat ogres right there. And he's far off in the distance. That's a pretty long distance right there. And if you get here in retail right now, you can't see that far. I can see him right there. I'll mark a little skull on him. You see that? Because on my server, I increased the view distance of the mobs, so I can see them further away. So what I'm saying is that in Vanilla WoW, you could see mobs further away than when Burning Crusade came out, or Wrath of the Lich King, or, subsequent expansions. Some point, I don't know exactly when, Blizzard reduced the visibility of the mobs. So, like, if you were in retail, you could probably only see to, like, this guy right here. I don't know why they decreased it so much. But I remember coming back here later on in retail, and it's like, I can't even see as far as I used to be able to see. When the fuck did that change? So, I wanted to bring it up on my server, kind of back to where it was in actual vanilla retail. It's weird. People are like, who cares about this? Well, you could see the ogres were the old model of the ogres too. So this view distance was in very early retail. Before they changed the ogre model, you can see those are the original fat ogre models that look a lot different than they do today. So this is an actual genuine screenshot. And I remember seeing that far, and people didn't really believe me, and I showed them the screenshot, and they're like, oh, okay. I guess you're right again. Yeah, of course I'm right. So that's why I increased the view distance on Azerothcore here, on my own server. Oh my god, this flying mount gives me memories back. Private servers rule. I paid like 10 dodos. What? For that as 12-year-old kid on a Polish server. Really? You had a flying mount on a Polish server? Yeah, this is Wrath of the Lich King, so you should not be able to fly here. But yeah, I gave myself this mount, and it's in my tutorial guide, my guide. I show how to get this mount. And it works. Magtheranon doesn't work. Seems you need 5 real players to click the boxes. Oh. And the Phoenix mount is almost impossible because of the need to move so much. The bots don't strategize to fight well. Oh, okay. Well, again, that's something we could fix. You can actually program that shit if you're a good programmer, which I'm not. Me not. So, are these guys talking or what?
What can I do for you?
Zanzil the out... Talk to me.
Tis a horrible life.
Hi, how
I should
are
be
you?
in a watery grave right now,
How
not
are
sitting here by the fire, breathing
What's
fresh
your
air.
deck?
The crew tried so hard to save my beautiful maiden's folly. Bless the boys, bless their hearts. O'Brien made it to shore safely, but we weren't so lucky. The seas just sank on us, I swear. 1 second we're afloat and the next water is rushing in. And those beasts killed all the survivors. Horrible Naga scum. Those beasts dead.
Now that we are full-fledged Blackwater Raiders, it is our job to help Mr. O'Brien locate the lost elven treasure. It is next to impossible to find the gems in the dark sea without aid. The Doctor has constructed some goggles that will help. He needs the goggles charged with the energy derived from the enchanted stone in the cave just up the hill. But the cave is cursed! When we get close, we get ambushed. Defend me, that I can harness the energy from the stone into the goggles. The goggles work perfectly now. Well done, adventurer! The treasure has been on the seafloor so long that the gems have calcified into thick stone, but the power harnessed in these goggles will allow you to locate them easily. A little gnomish ingenuity goes a long way. So borrow the goggles of gem hunting adventurer and see if you can collect some of the lost treasure for Captain O'Brien. I might swim down there myself, but, well, I have important scientific business to tend to up on the safe, dry land. Yeah.
Oh man, I hate this one. I hate this quest. There's just so much underwater crap here.
NBS, acting as the NSA's public face, allowed IBM to construct its algorithm independently. This gave it deniability. Hey, it wasn't us spooks who cooked it up, Big Blue did. But by getting IBM to cut the key size to an infuriatingly puny 56 bits, the spooks got what they wanted anyway. They knew they could control the key size, which would ultimately control the strength of the standard, complains Hellman. And that was the kindest interpretation. If you wanted to be skeptical, and like any good cryptographer, Hellman and his colleagues were plenty skeptical, you'd still wonder about the possibility of an actual trapdoor that would allow the Fort Meade tricksters to decode a DES message within seconds. Why else were they keeping the design principles a secret? In any case, Hellman rejected the government's 91-year estimate and decided to go over the heads of the NBS functionaries with whom he was corresponding. On February 23, 1976, Hellman stated his complaints in a letter to Elliot Richardson, who, as Secretary of Commerce, was the ultimate boss of the NBS. I am writing to you because I am very worried that the National Security Agency has surreptitiously influenced the National Bureau of Standards in a way which seriously limited the value of a proposed standard and which may pose a threat to individual privacy. I refer to the proposed data encryption standard, intended for protecting confidential or private data used by non-military federal agencies. It will also undoubtedly become a de facto standard in the commercial world. I am convinced that NSA, in its role of helping NBS design and evaluate possible standards, has ensured that the proposed standard is breakable by NSA. The response Hellman received from...
If you didn't see that, I just used a warlock to cast underwater breathing on me, so I don't have to go up to the surface and get air. Because warlocks have that ability. It's pretty nice. And I don't think it can get knocked off you by getting hit, I don't think.
Ernest Ambler, the acting director of the NBS, did little to cool him down. Instead of answering Hellman's charges directly, Ambler gave some general comments defending DES, and praised the NSA for its
Oh, there's one other item, oh my god, that I really miss in this game, and it's the artifact fishing pole. I remember I fucking earned that pole. It's one of the best items in the game, because I remember I bound it to Shift-E on my keyboard, and therefore it would equip it. And when you equip it underwater, you turn into a fish, like a fucking fast fish underwater. And so this underwater shit wasn't as bad, swimming around. You put that fucking artifact fishing pole on, and you're just zipping through the goddamn water, dude. It's so much better. That's the kind of shit I want in this right now. I want that fishing pole right here, right now. I want my raft back. What else? I want disengage to work while out of combat. I mean, those are the quality of life things that I really like. But as of right now, I haven't looked it up. I haven't seen if anybody's implemented that in the game. I'm sure they could. Because if I can implement this mount right here, why couldn't I implement the fishing pole? It's got to be possible. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to do it. That pole is fucking awesome. And it gives underwater breathing too. On top of all that, it gives underwater breathing, dude. It's awesome. Oh my god, is it awesome. And it actually doubles as a real fishing pole that you could use to catch fish. It just had everything. It had everything. It was, you know, like I said, Legion wasn't, of course, you know, the best version of WoW, but it had some really nice quality of life things in it. If I could do some of the Legion stuff in this, that would be awesome. Not realistic, but not authentic, but awesome. It'd make the game more fun. I want underwater breathing without having to rely on a warlock, you know. My hunter was so awesome, dude. He had everything that he needed. All these different teleports, engineering, all these different teleports with engineering, these wormholes, all the fucking toys for the water walking, and just I could do everything myself. I did not need anybody.
Contributions in certifying the algorithm. He helpfully attached an executive order which outlined the functions and responsibilities of NSA. Monkeying with private sector algorithms didn't make the list. That summer, Hellman, Diffie, and 5 other academics took a month to bang on the system and produced a paper called Results of an Initial Attempt to Cryptanalyze the NBS Data Encryption Standard. They were straightforward about their concerns. Any algorithm approved by the NSA was mildly suspect a priori because the NSA does not want a genuinely strong system to frustrate its cryptanalytic intelligence operations. It was not surprising, then, that while falling far short of actually breaking a DES key, they concluded that the system could not be trusted. Besides the key strength, they found what they considered a suspicious structure in the S-boxes. Possibly, they wrote, the result of a deliberately set trapdoor. To IBM's Walt Tuchman, though, the Diffie-Hellman complaints were a travesty born of paranoia and ignorance. He was no secret agent. He was a product guy, and to the best of his ability, he'd led a team to create a good product. It had been a happy day for his team when the first 2 DES devices were completed. They were shoebox-sized metal cases stuffed with chips that went between a mainframe computer and a modem. Such a device on each end of a data transfer would allow 2 computers to communicate in a secret stream, impervious to eavesdroppers, no matter what Marty Hellman said. One box was sent to IBM's Paris headquarters, the other...
See, I like that. Impervious to eavesdropping.
stuffed with chips that went between a mainframe computer and a modem. Such a device on each end of a data transfer would allow 2 computers to communicate in a secret stream, impervious to eavesdroppers, no matter what Marty Hellman said. One box was sent to IBM's Paris headquarters, the other to Lou Branscom's office in Armonk. Then they made some history. The Paris office sent off an encrypted message to the Armonk machine. The Armonk machine, having been previously fed the symmetrical key that performed both encryption and decryption, deciphered the message back to its original form. It went to a little printer, and the message was printed in all the IBM newspapers, recalls Tuchman. It was some innocuous little message, of course, because everybody knew it was going to be published in the clear. All that happiness, though, was tempered by the attacks that came from Hellman and friends. Tuchman and his colleague Carl Meyer had to defend themselves at 2 public workshops sponsored by the NBS. The second, held in September 1976 at the NBS's Gaithersburg, Maryland headquarters, was the most contentious. "I didn't do anything wrong," insisted Tuchman. The key size was plenty big enough, and building a machine to crack DES would not take Hellman's low 7-figure price tag, but a cool $200 million. And if that key size wasn't large enough, people could design devices to run DES through its paces twice, with 2 different keys. Though such a process might be difficult to set up, this would effectively double the key size to 112 bits, enough key space to confound every damned computer on the planet for the next gajillion years. Eventually, a process would emerge called triple DES, which would use 3 keys and rule out even the most extravagantly brutish of attacks. But all of this was a moot point, because the version of DES with the allegedly hobbled 56 bits was the one proposed for the standard. Tuchman's appeal failed to quiet the critics. Why didn't you publish the design heuristics? They wanted to know. Did you put a trapdoor in DES? Then came the newspapers. Those professors told the New York Times and the Washington Post, Tuchman complains. The next thing he knew, at IBM's request, Tuchman himself was being interviewed. After taking a gander at the newly famous desks of Woodward and Bernstein, he told the Post reporter the same thing he told the Times reporter. The NSA didn't modify the algorithm. They didn't put a trapdoor in. Look, you guys, it's ridiculous. were not going to risk the entire IBM company by putting a trapdoor in its product. Even so, the publicity took its toll. It was bad enough that the Times, the Post, and the Wall Street Journal were listening to Hellman and the critics. Worse came when Tuckman's own mother called him from her retirement home in Florida, concerned with what friends had been telling her after reading the New York papers. She pleaded with her son, who had started life so wonderfully as a whip-smart college boy from Brooklyn. "Please, Walter, leave IBM and stop hanging around with those bad people." Tuckman had to explain to her that he wasn't going to wind up in a jail cell with Ehrlichman and Haldeman. He was a good guy. After the publicity came hearings by the Senate Intelligence Committee. These top-secret sessions were closed, and the final report was classified. But a summary was issued for the general public, too. Its contents provided ammunition to both sides. On one hand, Hellman was proved correct in asserting who the power was that dictated the 56-bit key. The NSA convinced IBM that a reduced key size was sufficient, the report read. The reduction wasn't, as Tuckman still insists, due to the rigor of chip design or the need for parity checks. It was the fact that the government wouldn't tolerate anything more. IBM knew that it would need export licenses for approved customers, but the NSA, which had been charged to collaborate with the National Bureau of Standards in evaluating DES as a government standard, certainly was not going to rubber stamp an algorithm that used, in its view, too long a key. Apparently, the 56-bit key length provided the NSA a certain comfort level. Though the work factor to break a cipher of that length seemed dauntingly high, it was clear that if anyone could contemplate a brute force attack on DES, it was the National Security Agency itself, with what were assumed to be literally acres of computers in its top-secret basement. Obviously, while an ideal code for users was the strongest one possible, the ideal code for the NSA's purposes would be one that was too powerful for criminals and other foes to break, but just weak enough to be broken by the billions of subterranean computer cycles at Fort Meade. Did a 56-bit key fit into that sweet spot? The NSA didn't say, and never would. Despite its conclusion that the key size was a result of NSA demands, the committee concluded that there was no wrongdoing by either IBM or the government. The data encryption standard had been determined fairly.
Most superb, adventurer! The captain will be very pleased. And just wait until word gets back to Fleet Master Seahorn. Let's not leave Captain O'Brien waiting. He'll want to see these gems firsthand. After all, that's why we're here. And after a few weeks of consorting with these pirates, the professor and I have realized the last thing that's good for our health is to be caught hanging on to their treasure. Here, adventurer, take these to O'Brien.
Fucking priest. Fuck off.
Yo! O'Brien led the ships into the cove.
Be good.
We were certain this is where the treasure could be found. The Harbinger docked safely, but as the Maiden's Folly and Spirit of Silverpine approached, the tides began to lower. Strangest thing I've ever seen. Those two ships ran aground into something. Some sort of temple in the reef. They sank so quickly it was quite a tragedy. We need to retrieve their logs as well as their charts before we leave. We can't leave that information behind for prying eyes.
Oh my god, he's like pissed at me. Fuck, I thought it was fucked, man.
Like it or not, this was something that Marty Hellman and his friends would have to accept. It took years, but eventually they not only accepted it, but came to eat some crow. As Walt Tuckman proudly notes, for more than 2 decades after the algorithm was formally accepted as a standard in 1977, no one had been successful at finding a significant shortcut to cracking a DES encrypted message. Of course, if the NSA had done so, it would never have admitted it. In 1990, outside cryptanalysts revealed the technique of what was called differential cryptanalysis, proving that under certain, admittedly rare, conditions, one could crack a DES key using slightly less computation than a brute force attack would require. But this was essentially the T attack, discovered by IBM during the development process in time to fortify the algorithm against such assault, and kept confidential at the NSA's request. A different group of researchers introduced another theoretical attack on DES, linear cryptanalysis, in 1993, but neither did it truly compromise the cipher. So if the key size was indeed the only point of attack in DES, if one had to devote massive computational resources to breaking a single message, and then wait for days, weeks, or months for the cipher to crumble, then the National Security Agency had certified what could be an extraordinarily powerful tool for the spread of strong encryption throughout the land, and maybe even the world. It had always been the impression of the folks behind the triple fence that the users of DES would be conservative, trustworthy institutions, like banks and financial clearinghouses. They misjudged the situation. Instead, the development of DES marked the beginning of a new era of cheap, effective means of using computer power to keep personal information private. It was used not only in banks, but in all sorts of commercial communications, and was widely available to private communications too. Though the NSA still controlled its export, it quickly grew unfettered within U.S. borders. And while U.S. producers could not market DES overseas, the algorithm itself would find its way overseas, allowing foreign developers to make their own versions. The dawning of this era of increased protection might have pleased some of the people in the communications security branch of the NSA, which was in charge of securing American data as they moved around the globe. But it was already causing conniptions among those in the signals intelligence area, the people whose job it is to make sure that our guys can quickly intercept and circulate all the rich and fascinating information buzzing around the globe as electronic blips. If those blips were encrypted, and thus not easily read, well, then that would be a problem. Making things even worse were the faster and cheaper computer technologies that made it feasible, made it the rule, in fact, for DES users to switch keys not every few months as the NSA assumed they might, but on a daily basis, or even more often than that. Yes, the data encryption standard was a problem for the Fort. Years later, even Martin Hellman came to realize that his attacks sometimes were based more on bravado than substance. They were Darth Vader and I was Luke Skywalker, he says. I was bearding the NSA, and that's a pretty heady thing for a young guy to be involved in. Now, however, he admits that there were 2 sides to the issue. That DES, despite its key size, was strong enough to provide a measure of security to people, and that even though the NSA could presumably marshal the resources to brute force a DES key into submission, the process was certainly more cumbersome and costly than simply reading an unencrypted intercept. DES was the NSA's first lesson that the new age of computer security was going to complicate its life considerably, perhaps even to the point of shaking the entire institution. Alan Conheim thinks that the bottom line on DES came from Howard Rosenblum. He was the Deputy Director for Research and Development at the NSA, where football fields of mainframe computers cracked the codes of the country's friends and enemies, and tested the codes that potentially protected our own secrets.
Do you prefer guns or bows?
Finally, it can wear mail. Volley, I'll take that.
Winds be at your back.
see. I think I have volley here. Yep. Okay. Flag of ownership. Okay. All right. Gonna quick relog just to save everything.
One day, Rosenblum and Conheim were talking about Dez, and the NSA official made an off-the-cuff remark that stayed with Conheim for years. "You did too good a job," he said. It was not, Conheim says delightedly, a comment of flattery. Public key. Though Whit Diffie and Marty Hellman regarded the data encryption standard as a tainted and possibly fraudulent gambit by IBM and the United States government, its introduction was in a strange way an important gift to the Stanford researchers. By combing through the available technical data on the proposed standard and speculating on what was not made public, Diffie and Hellman had a new prism through which to consider their own efforts. Ever since Diffie had heard the first reports of the government standard at a 1974 chow down at Louis', the Chinese restaurant where stands the possibility of an NSA trapdoor. This led him to a deeper consideration of the...
Speaking of NSA trapdoor, I remember there was a file on Windows operating systems called like NSA.key or something like that. It scared people. They thought it was a backdoor built in Windows for the NSA.
Concept of trapdoors. Could an entire crypto
It wasn't.
scheme be built around one? Designing such a system would present considerable challenges because it would have to resolve a fundamental contradiction. A trapdoor provides a means for those with proper knowledge to bypass security measures and get quick access to encrypted messages, something that seems efficient. But the very thought of using a trapdoor in a security system seems like a nutty risk, precisely because crafty intruders might find a way to exploit it. It's the same problem posed by a physical trapdoor. If your enemies can't find it, you can use it to hide. But if they do, they'll know exactly where to look for you. This contradiction made the prospect of designing a trapdoor scheme incredibly daunting. After all, the strongest crypto systems were finely tuned in every aspect to prevent their contents from leaking. Tampering with their innards to insert a backdoor, a leak, could easily produce any number of unintended weaknesses. When Diffie explained this to Hellman, both of them concluded that such a system would probably be impractical. But Diffie still thought it was interesting enough to add to a list he was compiling entitled Problems for an Ambitious Theory of Cryptography. Still, in early 1975, for all of Diffie's Sisyphean labors, even with the fruitful collaboration with Hellman, weeks were going by and he didn't seem to be getting anywhere. Was all his work at learning crypto against terrific odds going to lead to nothing? Hellman at least had a job, but Diffie had nothing. Though his house-sitting stint for John McCarthy was pleasant enough, he was now over 30 years old, making peanuts at his research job, and it was clear that he could never cope with the nitpicking hurdles one had to jump before earning a doctorate. Though Diffie was by nature cheerful, these ruminations were bringing him down. Mary Fisher recalls the lowest point. One day she walked into the McCarthy's bedroom and found Diffie with his head in his hands, weeping. I asked him what was wrong, she says, and he told me he was never going to amount to anything, that I should find someone else, that he was, and I remember this exact term, a broken-down old researcher. She tried to comfort him. She told him that the world didn't know it yet, but he was a great man. Mary had been studying Egyptology, and she explained that the ancient Egyptians made a distinction between acquired and innate characteristics. She believed greatness must be one of those traits that were not acquired. It was just there, and one could see it in such a person. I know what I'm looking at, she told him, and I know you're a great man. Whit Diffie did not feel like a great man. He felt like a failure. One day, Diffie and Hellman brought in a Berkeley computer scientist named Peter Blattman to attend one of the informal seminars on crypto they had been convening on campus.
I need a drink, man. Speaking of great man. What time is it? 6?
Afterward, as Diffie drove him to the Stanford AI lab a few miles away, Blattman mentioned that a friend of his named Ralph Merkel was working on an interesting problem. How can you get a secure conversation over an insecure line when the two people in the conversation have never had previous contact? Obviously, if the two people hadn't known each other previously, they would have had no opportunity to exchange secret keys before a private conversation. This was...
I gotta do it again, don't I? My pinned voice chat link.
End-to-end encryption is on.
That's right. We're ready to go with encryption.
End-to-end encryption is on.
In effect, a different formulation of the big question that had been bugging Diffie for years. Was it possible to use cryptography to protect a huge network against eavesdroppers and wiretappers to boot? More subtly, it reflected Mary's observation of his dilemma. In a world of untrustworthy people, how do you maintain intimate contact with the one person you trust? Because Diffie had enjoyed so little success at attacking that problem, he argued to Blattman that his friend's scheme was in fact impossible. Diffie thinks that his outburst even convinced Blattman. But even as Diffie passionately argued the impossibility of such a feat, he secretly believed otherwise, and his mind was racing to figure it out. It was almost as if he needed there to be such a solution. How could you create a system where people who had never met could speak securely? Where all conversations could be conducted with high-tech efficiency, but be protected by... Could you create a system where people who had never met could speak securely? Where all conversations could be conducted with high-tech efficiency, but be protected by cryptography? Where you could get an electronic message from someone and be sure it came from the person whose return address appeared. During his quest, Diffie had struggled to gather information in an atmosphere where almost all of it was classified. And he had wound up with more than anyone could have expected: one-way functions, password protections, identification friend or foe, trapdoors. Somewhere in all of that had to be an answer to privacy. Diffie knew that reconciling the different protections offered by these disparate systems was crucial to his quest. As he thought more, he began to understand how you might be able to use some of those techniques to verify someone's identity. He began mentally constructing a means by which this could be done by one-way functions, the mathematical phenomenon where something easily calculated could not easily be reversed. Such a scheme would be, as he later wrote, a challenge which could only be answered by one person, but whose response could be recognized by many as genuine. In other words, a system of one-way authentication, which used the creative misunderstanding of his friend Bill Mann some years earlier. A trapdoor one-way function where the difficult reversal of a calculation could be performed if someone had a crucial bit of information on how the original figuring had been done. This addressed a key issue that Diffie had discussed in his conversations with McCarthy about electronic commerce. But that was only half the problem. What about privacy? Could the idea of a trapdoor one-way function work in a system that solved two problems? First, the authentication necessary for computer passwords and similar credentials, and second, secret communication? That spring, Diffie had settled into a routine at the McCarthy house. Every morning, he would make breakfast for Mary and Sarah, McCarthy's 14-year-old daughter. Then Mary would go off to work, Sarah would go off to school, and Diffie would stay home. One day in May 1975, he spent the morning hours thinking. After a lunch break, he returned to his mental work. For the umpteenth time, he had been thinking about the problem of establishing a secure login password on a computer network. Again, there was that old problem of having to trust the administrator with the secret password. How could you shut that third party out of the scheme entirely? Sometime in the afternoon, things suddenly became clear to Diffie. Devise a system that could not only provide everything in Diffie's recently envisioned one-way authentication scheme, but could also deliver encryption and decryption in a novel manner. It would solve the untrustworthy administrator problem, and much, much more. He would split the key. Diffie's breakthrough itself involved something that, in the context of the history of cryptography, seemed an absolute heresy: a public key. Until that point, there was a set of seemingly inviolable rules when it came to encryption, a virtual dogma that one ignored at the risk of consignment to crypto hell. One of those was that the same key that scrambled a message would also be the instrument that descrambled it. This is why keys were referred to as symmetrical. That is why keeping those keys secret was so difficult. The very tools that eavesdroppers lusted after, the decryption keys, had to be passed from one person to another, and then existed in two places, dramatically increasing the chances of compromise. But Diffie, his brain infused with the information so painstakingly collected and considered over the past half-decade, now envisioned the possibility for a different approach.
I don't know why those goblins are killing all my fucking group members.
I was hoping that it would be already assembled, but this does present the unique opportunity to improve on the design from the ground up. Thanks, Adventurer. I'll be able to sketch up some improved schematics, build the thing, and have it installed real soon. I'm going to be busy with working on integrating this new fuel regulator to our racer designs, but if you'd like to help out the team some more, talk to Razorick. He's our pilot, well, our 18th pilot to be exact, and he likes to add his own little modifications to the racers. He's a little off his rocker, though, so try not to act too surprised.
You're the person that's been helping Potzik out, right? I was like you once, running around the pit area, helping with whatever work the mechanics would let me do. Now look at me, the Goblin Racing Team's pilot extraordinaire.
Podzik's a great mechanic, I know that, but he's afraid to just load on the firepower and grab on for the ride. Not me, though. Podzik's a great mechanic, I know that, but he's afraid to just load on the firepower and grab on for the ride. Not me, though. After Podzik finishes with a racer, I take a little time to put my own modifications on. You know, loosening up the controls, removing parts of the frame, and adding more juice. I ordered a Sephorium booster from Shreve at the Gizmorium in Gadgetson, but apparently the Zeppelin it was being sent on crashed in Dustwallow Marsh. I gotta have it, Adventurer.
Great, you got them! Now we need to get them to the gnomes, but first, let's take out one small item.
Instead of using one single secret key, you could use a key pair. The tried and true symmetrical key would be replaced by a dynamic duo. One would be able to do the job of scrambling a plain text message, performing the task in such a way that outsiders couldn't read it, but a secret trapdoor would be built into the message. The other portion of the key pair was like a latch that could spring open that trapdoor and let its holder read the message. And here was the beauty of the scheme. Yes, that second key, the one that flipped open the trapdoor, was of course something that had to be kept under wraps, safe from the prying hands of potential eavesdroppers. But its mate, the key that actually performed the encryption, didn't have to be a secret at all. In fact, you wouldn't want it to be a secret. You'd be happy to see it distributed far and wide. Now, the idea of ensuring privacy by using keys that were exchanged totally in the open was completely non-intuitive, and on the face of it, bizarre. But using the mathematics of one-way functions, it could work. Diffie knew it, and for an illuminating instant, he knew how to do it using one-way functions. It was the answer. From that moment, everything was different in the world of cryptography. First, by presenting an alternative to systems that worked with a single, symmetrical key, Diffie had solved a problem that had become so embedded in cryptographic systems that it had occurred to almost no one that it could be solved. The difficulty of distributing those secret keys to future recipients of secret messages. If you were a military organization, you might be able to protect the distribution centers that handled symmetrical keys, though God knows there were lapses even in the most vital operations. But if such centers moved into the private sector, and masses of people needed to use them, there would not only be inevitable bureaucratic pile-ups, but also a constant threat of compromise. Figure it this way. If you needed to crack an encrypted message, wouldn't the very existence of a place that stored all the secret keys present an opportunity for some creep to get the keys by theft, bribery, or some other form of coercion? But with a public key system, every person could generate a unique key pair on his or her own, a pair consisting of a public key and a private key, and no outsider would have access to the secret key parts. Then private communication could begin. Here's how it would work. Say that Alice wants to communicate with Bob. Using Diffie's concept, then private communication could begin. Here's how it would work. Say that Alice wants to communicate with Bob. Using Diffie's concept, she needs only Bob's public key. She could get this by asking him for it, or she might get it from some phone book type index of public keys. But it has to be Bob's personal public key, a very long string of bits that could only have been generated by only one person in the world, Bob. Then, by way of a one-way function, she uses that public key to scramble the message in such a way that only the private key, the other half of that unique key pair, performs the decrypting calculation. Thus, the secret key is the trapdoor in the trapdoor one-way function Diffie was thinking about. So when Alice sends the scrambled message off, only one person in the world has the information necessary to reverse the calculation and decipher it. Bob, the holder of the private key. Say that the scrambled message gets interpreted by someone desperate to know what Alice had to say to Bob. Who cares? Unless the snooper has access to the unique partner of Bob's public key, the instrument Alice used to convert the message to seeming mush, the snoop would get no more than that mush. Without that private key, reversing the mathematical encryption process is too damn difficult. Remember, going the wrong way in a one-way function is like trying to put together a pulverized dinner plate. Bob, of course...
I've never used PGP in email. However, Edward Snowden actually made a video to journalists showing how to do it, and he masked his voice. I thought it was kind of funny. I think I have it. Let me see. Got it. This was made by Edward Snowden. I don't remember where I got it, but I don't remember. But I think he was trying to teach Glenn Greenwald and other journalists how to use encryption. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm going to watch a little bit of it because I don't remember what he says in it. Oh, excuse me. Oh, man.
Before we get into the tutorial proper, let's begin with a brief overview of the problems that we're looking at. We're discussing source journalist communications, where you have someone with information that they'd like to get to the journalist over here, but they have to transit the internet somehow, which is an untrusted environment, particularly for email, which is unencrypted by default. Any router you cross could be monitored by an intelligence agency or other adversary, a random hacker. So could any endpoints on the way there, a mail server or a service provider such as Gmail. And aside on that is if the journalist uses a webmail service personally, or it's provisioned by their the company, that can be plain text. That email can always be retrieved later on via subpoena or some other mechanism, legal or illegal, instead of catching it during transit. So that's doubly dangerous than if it's on the journalist's home PC. But the solution to that is to actually encrypt the message. Now, one of the problems with encryption typically requires a shared secret, a form of key or password that goes between the journalist and the source. But if the source sends an encrypted file across the internet to the journalist that says, hey, here's an encrypted file, the password is cheesecake, the internet's going to know the password was cheesecake in transit. So public key encryption, such as GPG, allows the journalist to publish a key that anyone can have based on the design of the algorithm, and it doesn't provide any advantage to the adversary, because the source actually has something called a private key of his own that the journalist doesn't need any knowledge of, that'll allow him to encrypt a message specifically to the journalist. He can then send his message that would look like this, which is obviously a bad idea, and make it look more like this. And then he'll send it across the internet, along with a copy of his public key, so the journalist can respond. And when it arrives at the journalist, he can decrypt it at his leisure, see exactly what he was saying, and it's entirely secure, with some of the typical algorithms like...
Isn't that great? Again, I never used PGP, but it obviously works. And that's what this book is talking about right now.
Has no problem reading the message intended for his eyes only. He possesses the secret part of the key pair, and he can use that private key to decipher the message in a jiffy.
You've seen Mokhtar recently? He always be looking out for me. I'm sorry to hear he spends his time watching over his little warband instead of seeing battle, but I'm sure he be taking great joy in killing members of the Explorers League. You were smart to bring me these specimens, adventurer. Along with the eggs we be finding in the Field of Giants, these should give me a good start in figuring out what these insects are, and what they be wanting. Head back to Belgrim in Orgrimmar, and tell him Mokhtar be doing his bidding well out in the Thousand Needles. Tell him also that me studies progress, and I hope to be having learned more soon. That should please him greatly.
Some of these AI voices, man, they don't match up, do they?
In short, Bob is able to read the message because he is the only person in possession of both sides of the key pair. Those who obtain the public key have no advantage in attempting to break the message. When it comes to encrypted messages, the only value of having Bob's public key is to, in effect, change the message to Bob speak, the language that only Bob can read, by virtue of having the secret half of the key pair. This encryption function was only part of Diffie's revolutionary concept, and not necessarily its most important feature. Public key crypto also provided the first effective means of truly authenticating the sender of an electronic message. As Diffie conceived it, the trapdoor works in two directions. Yes, if a sender scrambles a message with someone's public key, only the intended recipient can read it. But if the process is inverted, if someone scrambles some text with his or her own private key, the resulting ciphertext can be unscrambled only by using the single public key that matches its mate. What's the point of that? Well, if you got such a message from someone claiming to be Albert Einstein and wondered if it was really Albert Einstein, you now had a way to prove it, a mathematical litmus test. You'd look up Einstein's public key and apply it to the scrambled ciphertext. If the result was plain text and not gibberish, you'd know for certain that it was Einstein's message, because he holds the world's only private key that could produce a message that his matching public key could unscramble. In other words, applying one's secret key to a message is equivalent to signing your name, a digital signature. But unlike the sorts of signatures that are penned on bank checks, divorce papers, and baseballs, a digital John Hancock cannot be forged by anyone with the minimal skills required to replicate the original signer's lines and loops.
So the question I have is, where are people keeping their private keys? Since it's the only thing that really verifies that you're the real guy. Are people keeping that secure somewhere? And if so, where? Because if somebody gets a hold of that, you're fucked. So that's my question.
Without a secret key, the would-be identity thief has scant hope of producing a counterfeit signature. Nor could a would-be forger hope to monitor a phone line, wait until his praised digital signature appears, and then snatch it, with the intention of reusing the signature to create faked documents or to intercept future messages.
What? What do you say?
In practice, the would-be identity thief has scant hope of producing a counterfeit signature. Nor could a would-be forger hope to monitor a phone line, wait until his praised digital...
Oh, well, yeah. It's not being transferred, but it's being kept somewhere to create encrypted messages. Shit, there's Alliance again. Fuck, there's a lot of them. Well, it's a level 45.
digital signature appears and then snatch it, with the intention of reusing the signature to create faked documents or to intercept future
Holy
messages.
Shit. There's like fucking 3 Alliance over here. Fucking Alliance. Holy shit. Oh my god.
In practice, a digital signature is not applied as an appendage to the document or letter to which it is affixed. Instead, it is deeply interwoven with the digits that make up the actual content of the entire message. So if the document is intercepted, the eavesdropper cannot extract from it the tools to stamp the sender's signature on some other document. This technique also assures the authenticity of an entire document. A foe cannot hope to change a small but crucial portion of a digitally signed document, like switching the statement, "I am not responsible for my spouse's debts," to "I take full responsibility for my spouse's debts," all the while maintaining the signature of the unwitting sender. If the message was digitally signed with a private key but unencrypted, such a rogue could intercept it, use the sender's well-distributed public key to descramble it, and then make the change in the plain text. But what then? In order to resend the text with the proper signature, our forger would require the private key to fix the signature on the entire document. That secret key, of course, would be unobtainable, remaining in the sole possession of the original signer.
Hopefully.
If someone sending a signed message wanted secrecy in addition to a signature, that's easy too. If Mark wanted to send an order to his banker, Lenore, he'd first sign the request with his private key, then encrypt that signed message with Lenore's public key. Lenore would receive a twice-scrambled message, shaken for privacy, stirred for authentication. She would first apply her secret key, unlocking a message that no one's eyes but hers could read. Then she would use Mark's public key, unlocking a message that she now knows only he could have sent. Digital signatures offer another advantage. Since it is impossible for a digitally signed message to be produced by anyone but the person who holds the private key that scrambles it, a signer cannot reasonably deny his or her role in producing the document. This non-repudiation feature is the electronic equivalent of a notary public seal. For the first time, it became possible to conceive of all sorts of official transactions, contracts, receipts, and the like, to be performed over computer networks with no need for one's physical presence. In short, Diffie had not only figured out a way to assure privacy in an age of digital communications, but he had enabled an entirely new form of commerce, an electronic commerce that had the potential not only to match but to exceed the current protocols in commercial transactions. Even more impressive, his breakthrough had been performed completely outside the purview of government agencies in close possession of even the most trivial details of the most obscure cryptographic system. What a triumph for Whit Diffie! And what a panic he had when, scant moments after hatching one of the most important breakthroughs in cryptographic history, Whit Diffie almost forgot the whole thing. He went downstairs to get a Coke, and for one horrible moment the idea simply fell out of his head.
What?
He stepped back around the kitchen counter, and just like that, he got it back.
What?
This time, it stuck. Still, he didn't write it down. Suddenly, he was hyper-aware that the computer on which he kept his notes was not secure. There was no way to encrypt his thoughts so that intruders could not steal them. He would have to tell Marty Hellman about it face to face. But first, he waited until Mary got home from work.
Don't hit me.
When Mary Fisher...
Don't attack me, please. These bruisers are fucking tough, dude. They, like, one-shot you, essentially. And they talked about that in the Burning Crusade BlizzCon. It was like the first BlizzCon. They talked about who's killing the most players. And this, like, the Booty Bay Bruiser was, like, up there. Like, he killed thousands of fucking players. They were keeping track. And the Booty Bay Bruisers, which are... Because what happens when you attack in their area, they fucking gank you. So they don't want PvP in their area, man. Oh, they want... But it's so tempting, man. Look at this. You could just attack them right now, but then the booty break... Then they'll just fucking destroy my ass. So I can taunt them. Come on, hit me. Come on, bitch. Come on, bitch. Maybe you chicken. You too, you chicken. Sometimes you can... entice them to attack you, and then they're fucked for quite a while, man. They get just destroyed.
Interesting.
Funny crap, man. I got these guys chilling. Alright, come to me. I hope they don't get attacked, though. Uh-oh. Don't hit them. Okay, they're good. I think they're alright. Good. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Alright, go offline for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why in fucking Gadgetzan they're just destroying them. My bots. I don't know what they're so pissed about. And how do you get off their piss list? Do you just wait? I forgot how long it was. 30 minutes or something? It's been a while. I don't remember how to get off their shit list.
Came home from British Petroleum that day.
Dude! It's crawling with fucking Alliance. 1, 2, 3 more Alliance right there. This place is crawling with Alliance. And I don't even have that many fucking bots on right now. I got 398. That's not that many, but they're everywhere. Imagine if I had 2,500 bots, which I could do right now. I'd be fucking swarmed by Alliance. I'm just trying to be careful. I don't want to get fucking ganked. That's one reason I like rogues when I'm doing quests and shit, because you can decide, you know, when you're going to attack shit. But then again, you can't track like you can with hunters.
This Zeppelin was carrying 6 months' worth of supplies to us at Mudsprocket. Sure, they've been able to barter for some of what they need, but they won't hold out forever. I've been sent out here to recover what I can of the cargo, but the wreckage is scattered all over the marsh in this area. I'm sure a lot of the cargo didn't survive the crash, but are you willing to help me recover what we can?
Use your ooze buster. What? I don't have an ooze buster. I don't have an ooze buster. What are you talking about?
Welcome, friend. Glad I could help.
Why don't I have one? I don't have the quest, man. I think she's supposed to give it to me. Or is it a part 2? God damn it. That's kind of the problem with doing this double experience thing. Like, it's skipping a lot of quests, I think. I think that hunter's gonna come for me, dude. God, I feel like playing Doom, goddammit.
You two certainly found a lot more than I expected would be out there. I'm not sure how much Drazit thought we were going to find out here, but he's going to have to be happy with this for now. Drazit will expect to hear something from me soon, but I don't think the site is secure enough for me to leave.
See, it's skipping shit, dude. It's skipping shit. God damn it.
Cargo down to him at Mudsprocket. If you haven't been there yet, it's a small settlement to the southwest of here, beyond the stone wall ruins. You can take the road there from Tabitha's farm, too. When you get to Mudsprocket, the guy...
I like her accent. It sounds cool. I don't like this lightning sound, god fucking damn it. I like this girl's accent.
Drazit will expect to hear something from me soon, but I don't think the site is secure enough for me to leave. If you have time, would you be willing to take some of the salvaged cargo down to him at Mudsprocket? If you haven't been there yet, it's a small settlement to the southwest of here, beyond the stone wall ruins. You can take the road there from Tabitha's farm, too. When you get to Mudsprocket, the guy you're looking for is Drazit Drabval.
Come on, man. Tell me that's not awesome. If you want to run your own WoW server, you can do that. I made some guides. It's on my channel. I made a number of guides. The latest one is the 2025 one. But I don't like how I'm skipping a bunch of quests here, man. I'm getting fucking all fucked up. See, it's skipping them right now. Because I'm ahead. I'm further than I should be. Should I raise this up to like 2,000 bots? No, I won't do that right now. I was thinking about it, just to see how it kind of performs. It gets annoying though because you're competing with so many people. There's an alliance right there too. The more bots, the more active it is, but then again, the more you're fighting.
Good work, adventurer. Our agent Marg Nighteye was stationed outside Theramore. He was charged to spy on the city. This is his latest report, and it may be his last. From your testimony, I fear that Marg met his end in the swamp.
For the Horde.
Oh, in 50 minutes from now, the children, whatever it's called. Why can't I think? Oh, the Children of Goldshire event happens. And I said it before, but that scared the shit out of people. If you've never heard of it, it's in WoW. Like every morning, like 7 or 8 or something like that. The kids do weird shit, and they like form a pentagram. They walk in the shape of like a pentagram and shit, and they do like ritualistic seances and shit. I don't know, it's weird. It's real fucking creepy. But that's the cool thing about this game. It has all these little Easter eggs and creepy shit like that. Keep it interesting. Alright, now where the fuck am I going? Way the hell over there?
She found her husband waiting for her at the door. This was not usual. He had a strange look on his face, and he told her to come to him, that he wanted to talk to her. "I think," said Whit Diffie, "I've made a great discovery." He explained his idea to her. Though the mathematics of the procedure were beyond her, the concept rang true. What's more, from Mary's close observation of her husband during the years he had wrestled with the problem, she found the solution to be not just fitting, but poetic. Whit has always been a dualistic individual, she says of her husband, born under the sign of Gemini, and I think that the notion of splitting the key emerged from that tension. He was not a broken-down old researcher after all. That night,
Vindicated.
Diffie walked down the hill to Hellman's house to tell him, for the first time, about public key cryptography. It took a bit of explaining, but Hellman quickly understood the significance of Diffie's brainstorm. It remained, however, for them to formalize it.
All right, I'm going to do it again. Let's see. If you would like to stream or download this audiobook, there's the link, and the name of this audiobook is called Crypto. How the Code Rebels Beat the Government, Saving Privacy in the Digital Age by Stephen Levy. And in 2021. Nobody else on YouTube will ever do that for you. I don't know why. People used to share on the internet, but people are not giving anymore. It's fucking weird. So I'm gonna keep the spirit of giving. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna keep the spirit of giving alive.
You went looking for shelter in all the wrong spaces. You grew gluttonous and famous with faces nameless and blank. Superstitiously you named them Saint Christopher and Johanna, and Saint Christopher and Johanna, and Saint Christopher and Johanna. Overcome with the holiday spirit, Mark says the herald angels won't hear it. And remember the wolves that you run with are wolves, don't forget. They exist to give you something to regret. I'll beat them to it with something sadder than that brass portrait that shines through your morning dim. Something sadder than that brass portrait that shines through your morning dim. I'll give you something to be sad about. Hey, the picture really captures your mouth. Poised to say, it's your turn to go down now. 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 In the spirit of giving in.
This is the head of Mark Night-Eye. As I feared, he is dead. Look at the wound on his neck. Could a weapon have made that ragged cut? Or did some beast slay our agent? This is a mystery we must solve, adventurer.
Awesome.
We must discover if Marg's death was at the hands of the Alliance. We must know the events surrounding Marg's death. And the only way to do that, adventurer, is through the witch magic of trolls. Bring Marg's head to Kinwele in Stranglethorn Vale at the Gromgall base camp. Kinwele is the most powerful witch doctor of the Darkspear trolls. If anyone can speak to Marg Night-Eye's spirit, it is he.
Awesome.
The secret. Grandpa Mary, come on. Outboard Mary, come on. All I wanted was an answer to your money or your life, your money or your life. I was sick of America and her screaming decay. I was in a band, we were singing hooray quite often. But your mama was poor, your daddy was poor. What you gonna do? Your mother was poor, your father was poor. What you gonna do?
Red Pirate Ring is in Wrath of the Lich King? Oh my god, I did not fucking remember that. I gotta steal that. That ring is awesome, dude. It's a BOA ring. Holy shit, man. What were the fucking leg names? Or was there legs in this one? I forget. Oh shit, let me okay, good. I could not find a fucking list of BOA items in Wrath of the Lich King, dude. BOA items in Wrath of the Lich King. I found a website that says heirlooms, but I don't think I saw them all. It's talking about enchants. What about the items, you fucker? Like, it's just showing random shit. Male chest, male shoulders. I don't give a shit about that. Is that it? Weapons. Okay, armor. Here we go. Beastmaster. Look up item. Prized Beastmaster. Oh! What? Is that better than what I have? I always remember using the Champion Harad shoulders. Okay. Oh, well. Yeah, that's probably why. I think that's better. Okay, so what about the legs, though? I guess there were no legs in this. There's a gun, the upgraded Dwarven hand cannon. My brain just deletes shit. I do not even remember how you get these. Is it Stonekeeper Shard? But then again, where the fuck do you get those? Is it doing heroics? I forget. My brain just deletes shit. Even though I did all this crap already. When Wrath of the Lich King was out, I probably have screenshots of me getting it. I probably do, but my brain just deletes crap, unfortunately. I wish that wasn't the case, but I guess I got Alzheimer's. Arcanite Reaper. I think there's an heirloom vendor that you can add as a module. Let me see. Azerothcore modules. If so, I want to fucking get that in here. Oh. Where the fuck is the modules now? Oh, there's the catalog. Okay. List of Azerothcore modules. Let me type in heirloom. Nope, nothing. No, there isn't. There's a transmog vendor guy, which is cool, I suppose. Azerothcore heirloom vendor. There is one, isn't there? Heirloom vendors in starting zones. This is pretty old, 8 years ago. But it doesn't look like... Oh, it doesn't look like it exists anymore. So it probably doesn't even fucking work. But I want that, though. I would like that very much, actually. I'm starting to beef up my newer server here. I don't like auto balance. I don't know why. I don't want to go back to an old zone and get my ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? So I never liked that auto balance shit that they added, that retail added at some point in the game. God, that pissed me. I made videos about that shit. I was so pissed. Individual progression sucked for when I tried it last, so I'm not even going to bother with that. But I would like an heirloom vendor. So if you like World of Warcraft and you want to run your own server, it is possible, if you don't know about it. I know I'm repeating myself, but maybe there's somebody who doesn't know what the fuck is going on here. Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Hey. Hello there, lad. The name's Oglethorpe, and I may be responsible for one of the amazing gnomish devices you might possess. If it blew up, then it wasn't me. If it made you rich, though, we can discuss royalties. Oh, and if you're from Gnomerigan, you can just take two 90-degree angles, smash them together, and start marching. I have nothing to say to you.
You sure seem eager to work, matey. Not sure why some land-loving person adventurer is offering help to the Blackwater Raiders, but I'm not going to turn you away. Our ship just docked here in Booty Bay, and word has it that our rivals, those damn dirty bloodsail buccaneers, have been spotted all over southern Stranglethorn. All the boys are too busy hitting the grog and looking for ladies. What I need is a scout. Check the cove just north of Booty Bay along the Savage Coast and see what you find.
Yeah, don't make changes to the SQL server while it's running. Yeah. Well, nice thing about virtual machines, of course, is you can take snapshots before you make any serious changes. You know, it's also tricky, and it's probably not tricky for you because you kind of know what you're doing, Mr. Ryu. But it can be tricky just to remove shit. Like, for instance, it was tricky for me to figure out how to just remove the auction house bot. Maybe there's a better way, but this is how I do it. So just removing the auction house bot module, just the fucking module. You have to, get into SQL, then you have to drop table, drop this table, exit. Then you have to remove that folder, remove that config, and remove that config. And then you're finally rid of it. That is kind of a lot of work, and I had to figure out the commands myself because there's no. I don't know. I guess unless you intuitively know how MySQL works or SQL databases, then you won't know exactly where it's located or what the. And the bad thing about it too is if you don't remove those tables, and you remove the config file and you remove the module folder itself, but you still have those tables. If I remember correctly, it also doesn't even start. Your server doesn't even start. So, and then after you remove it, you have to rebuild the server. You have to recompile new binaries, because the binaries, of course, are built in such a way that it thinks that you have the module. So you have to rebuild that after you remove the tables and after you remove the configs and the folders. Then you have to rebuild your WoW binaries and restart the server after that. So it's kind of a pain to remove it. So I couldn't imagine how much work it would be to remove other modules, especially big modules like the progression modules and shit. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it, dude. Luckily, I haven't had any questions from anybody about how to remove this stuff. But then again, it's a lot to learn if you really want to get into this kind of stuff. If you really want to get into heavily modifying your server, you really ought to know SQL database shit and, modifying configs and all that other stuff and how to take snapshots of your virtual machine at least. And but if you just want to play, you just want to, play the game as default, my guide is a good way to start. And you don't have to know anything at all. You just kind of follow the instructions. But beyond that, there's a lot of information out there about this basic crap. But I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous, Ryu. All that stuff just to remove your auction house spot module. Because all the modules give you they actually not all of them, some of them, they sort of give you instructions on how to install the modules, but they never give you instructions how to remove them. Because removing them is like this PGP key, man. It's like it's totally different than installing it. It's totally different. All right. So let me do this shit.
The venture company has a string of operations through Stranglethorn, which keeps hard-working goblins like me from making honest gold. Please, you must help me. The venture company is mining near the Crystalvine mine to the north. They can't get into the mine because of all the basilisks, but they're still able to dig up singing crystals from the surrounding hills, take their crystals from them, and show them they don't have the run of the jungle, and, bring me those crystals as proof.
I'll leave it to good old Shakes O'Brien. I knew that he was the right captain for the mission. Say, adventurer, You seem to be an adventurous type. My fleet is stuck in Booty Bay until we can restock. There are some heavy things brewing here and abroad, and I need to get some top-secret correspondence to Sheikh Sobreen, who is tied up off the Arathi coast. Can I trust you to deliver this message safely and in confidence?
Oh, by the way, I only have 2 flight paths on Eastern Kingdoms here. That sucks, dude. What the fuck was that? Oh, I don't have 2. There are 2 that are connected. I have others up here in by Undercity, but I guess I don't have anything in the middle connecting them yet. So I have to somehow make it to Badlands probably, and that'll probably connect all of them. Maybe. I don't remember. But then again, I have experience at like 2x right now, so I'm getting like 2 times the experience. Also, I'm getting a lot of extra experience from all these BOA items I have equipped now. But I'm also using Zygor, and I really like Zygor, and I don't know of a better leveling add-on than Zygor. Zygor tells you exactly what to do, and it changes depending on your current experience and level and location. Like it actually adapts and overcomes, for lack of a better term. Zygor, the add-on, leveling add-on, adapts and overcomes, unlike any other leveling add-on I've ever seen. Every other leveling add-on it's like zeros and ones, it's binary. It doesn't adapt and morph. All the other leveling add-ons I've ever seen, now I could be wrong, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure that they just tell you what quest to go and get, but they don't even tell you where to go. It's just like a collection of quests. They all suck, man. I've tried so many leveling add-ons and they all fucking suck. What was one of them? It's like called Crystal or Quartz or something like that. I don't remember. I've tried so fucking many and they all suck. None of them compared with Zygor. And the Zygor itself isn't perfect. I wish somebody, took the time to perfect it. Obviously, the source code is open because it's an add-on. It's an Lua add-on for World of Warcraft, meaning you can look at the source code and you can change it yourself. Some people have. One guy actually made modifications to it and he posted it like a year ago on Reddit and it's gone. Because he stupidly uploaded it to Google Drive and then it disappeared somehow off there and nobody had a backup of it. Nobody had a mirror of it. And so nobody could get it again. All that guy's work, whatever he did to it, is gone. You guys upload many places other than just Google. You never know what's going to happen with your shit when you upload it to Google Drive. Where am I? Hey, I want to ask Chu a question here. Well, I'm sure you're smart enough to get the transmog module installed. I think I could even do that.
What you want?
I gotta get rid of some of these quests though, man. I'm like almost maxed out here. Like, look at this 1,000 needle shit. Oh, this in Badlands, so I gotta get there. I don't know, I want a better quest add-on, really. Zygor is great, but when you have a bunch of extra experience, look at how many it's skipping here. So, I guess I can go tidy them up myself, but it's a lot of work. I just want to know about saving your character progress, if that's going to be okay. Obviously, it's an SSD, so it's not like hard drive thrashing. I don't know how fast it can write all character data. I guess it depends on how many characters you have online or something. How much data it needs to save to your hard drive. So I don't think it would be harmful to save every like 20 seconds or something. I think I have mine set to 50 seconds right now. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. "30 more minutes. I want to go to that Children of whatever the fuck it's called, Goldshire. I should probably get on my other character. My other character's in Stormwind, so he's right next to it. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Yeah, he's not answering me. Not bad, I just got Jade. Big deal, those are common. I don't want to cheat and give myself an aura or a spell that I don't have on my hunter. Because I know I could get stealth on my hunter. I could add the stealth ability, just like a rogue has, to my hunter right now, but I don't want to do that. That's... I don't know, it's kind of beyond how I want to play the game. I want to play the game the way it's technically supposed to be played, but I might stretch it a little bit here and there. I do want water walking, but I guess I could give myself look up item water walk. Add item. Okay, I'll give myself some elixir of water walking. Okay, there, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Cheatin' bastard. I don't know if it's on the auction house though. It might be. Hunters are just the best. I mean, we got beast tracking, we've got humanoid tracking, hidden giants, elementals, demon tracking. You can see them right on your map. Like, that's the best, dude. Like, you're trying to find shit. Look at this. This is a fucking jungle, man. How the fuck can you see anything? You don't know where anything is? You're blind. You go in blind with every other class. I guess, well, Druid, they can find beasts on the map, I think, but that's it. They can't track stealth, they can't track humanoid. And those are really important, especially on PvP servers. Now, the cool thing, again, about running your own WoW server is you can swap out anytime you want between a PvE realm and a PvP realm. I could log off right now, change this PvP realm to a PvE realm, come back, and no alliance can attack me here. If you want to play like that. It's up to you. You can even set it as an RP realm if you want. Role-playing realm. Hello. Hello. I can't hear you if you're talking. Oh shit, it disconnected us. What the fuck? Try again, man. Hello. What the hell happened to your mic? Your mic sounds really bad. You got Discord? Click the text chat, dude. No. I gotta mute this guy. I gotta mute you, dude. Click the little chat button in the middle of the button, right by the raise hand. It's a little text chat button. Click that and then type. Okay. It sounds like he's getting electrocuted, dude. Alright, that's... I don't know, maybe it's my server. I doubt it, though. If anybody else... He's gonna restart, but if anybody else wants to try... If you want to try and see if your mic works better than his, it's probably his, but if you want to try... It sounded like he had encryption on, even though encryption was off. Shit, I'm a dumbass. There was an update to the PlayerBots mod yesterday on GitHub, and I installed it, and I have to tell you that it doesn't work. What do I mean by that? Let me show you. Stand by. Let me get my thing out. Let me get my thing out. I gotta... What's wrong with my throat? I gotta share my screen here. So here's my Azerothcore. And it obviously is Debian... it's Debian 13. Because I've upgraded from Debian 12. And I left Ubuntu a while back. I had an Ubuntu server and that started fucking up, but I left that too. So if I type in world and... Nope, I mean PB, which is the PlayerBots config file. And there was a strategy. When you go down to strategy... Here we go. Alright, this one was changed yesterday. When you go to the strategy section right here, in your PlayerBots config file, you can decide how your bots are going to play the game, essentially. Additional random bot strategies. Strategies added here are applied to all random bots in addition or subtraction to spec roll, blah, blah, blah. So here I could put hyphen DPS assist. So all bots on the realm will not assist me in DPS. But you don't really want that because you want your bots helping you with DPS. But then there's this right here, this option called Healer DPS Map Restriction. So by default, all bots will DPS, even if they're healers. But these two commands here, these two config files, this is off by default, I think. This is 0 by default, I think. But when you turn this on, that apparently causes all your healers, all your healer bots in the game to not DPS in these maps. And these maps are all dungeons and raids right here. That's what it says. These are dungeon and raid maps. And those are indicated by these numbers. So I don't know if this is Black Fathom Deeps, this is Razorfen Crawl, or whatever the fuck, and Blackwing Lair and Molten Core and all that stuff. So when your healers go into these maps, they will only heal. Well, I have it set up this way, but it's not working. When I go in there, well, at least their strategy shows that they're still DPSing. I guess I haven't watched them. Maybe I don't know, maybe it works. I guess I could also try it out. But usually when you have a healer, let me bring mine here. Do I have a healer? Here's a Shadow Priest. Let me change him to a healer. Okay, now he's holy. Now when you whisper that and you type NC space question mark, you'll see that DPS assist is on right there. That's his strategy. Same thing with his combat strategy. Also DPS assist is right there. So you don't want him DPS assisting when you're running a dungeon. You want all of his mana to go towards healing, and that's it. But that doesn't change. But maybe I could queue up right now for a dungeon. Let me queue up. I'm gonna respec these guys. Okay. I want that to be a warrior, tank, priest. This one is gonna be talents, spec, cat, PvE. This one is gonna be Brett. Okay. And then I'm gonna type in auto gear. You type in auto gear in party chat, and it automatically respecs them all back to whatever spec they are. So we're good to go. Now we just queue up, and I will pay attention to the priest. I will mark him with a moon, and I'll keep an eye and see if that priest DPSs at all. We'll just run a little bit of this dungeon here. Now that's not cheating, because you've this is the dungeon queuer thing that was built in Wrath of the Lich King. Oh, we can do Zul'Farrak now. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna send this tank in. Go get him. I want to watch this. See, he's DPSing. You see that? He's fucking DPSing right now, and he shouldn't be. That priest should not be DPSing. So the setting that was updated yesterday doesn't work, is what I mean. Now, you can change it in real time. You can whisper the priest and type NC space hyphen DPS assist, and then CO space hyphen DPS assist. And that means you just took them off. Now he will not DPS in this dungeon at all. And I'll prove it. I'll send the tank back in, and you will watch that priest. He will not DPS. He's not DPSing anymore. You see that? So, there you go. That's how you fix it. Because somebody was asking me too. They're like I'm doing like quests and stuff, and I have this little healer bot following me around. How do I make it so he stops DPSing stuff, and I just DPS myself? Well, that's how you do it. A big knock at the door. All right, here we go. Hello?
Hey, is that better?
That's better.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It wouldn't let me do in 24 or 32-bit for the microphone. I had to make it 16-bit. That's why it sounds like crap.
Oh, okay. So
for some reason, if I did that, it made it buzzy. I don't know.
Yeah. Are you on Chrome?
No, I don't even have Chrome on this computer.
You have no Chromium browser?
No, I use Brave.
Oh, that is Chrome. That's Chrome base. Let me enable this.
End-to-end encryption is on.
Can you still hear me?
Yes.
There you go. We got encryption on.
Yep, and I heard the end-to-end encryption on.
There you go. Not that we need it because I'm streaming, but it's kind of neat to have.
Dude, you're smart. Like I don't even know. I thought Brave was its own thing, and now you're telling me that it's.
Oh yeah, Brave is a Chromium-based browser. It's not doesn't mean it's bad or anything. They just because Chromium is open source. A lot of things use Chrome. For instance, Vernadium, I think it's called. If you ever heard of Graphene OS, you ever heard of that?
I believe so.
That's what Edward Snowden uses. It's the most secure Android device. And it's a Google Pixel with all the Google shit taken off and Graphene OS installed. And Graphene OS by default uses a browser called Vernadium, which you've probably never heard of because it's not something you could just go download and install on any PC. So Vernadium, it has the Google Chrome logo, but it's black and gray. And so it uses the source code from Chromium, but it's heavily modified to be more secure. So Chromium, again, in and of itself is not bad, But Chrome, the browser, is bad because it's owned by Google, and obviously they want to spy on you and shit. So.
Okay, well, maybe I'll try Chromium then.
And what I don't like about Brave, it's very commercial. Brave is not as bad as Google, but they try to charge you for what we're using right now. Jitsi, this voice chat shit. Jitsi is free and open source, and you probably don't give a shit, and that's fine. Most people don't. But Jitsi has always been free and open source. But Brave takes Jitsi and tries to charge for it. They call it Brave Talk. So they're trying to make money off free and open source software, which is really aggravating to me. But anyway, no problem.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm not trying to guilt you or anything. Go ahead.
Well, they want to pay their developers, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree. I mean, I agree with you. I think I like free and open source. I mean, that's the way it started, and it's just gotten so commercialized, everything.
Yeah. By the way, have we talked before? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you seem to know a little bit about computers and shit like that, right?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. So what were you going to say about it, though?
Oh, no, I was just talking. I kept chatting, and I was like, it's easier to just talk.
Yeah, you're right. So have you installed a bunch of modules for yours?
I've only installed what you put on there because I'm pretty stupid, man. Like, I the only way I could do your module, your guide, is to follow it line by line.
Oh, well, don't sell yourself short. You did it though, right? You completed it.
Yeah.
All right.
I put it on a Elite Disk, a little networking computer like the businesses use. I refurbished it, and I just putty in from my laptop to it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But it's on my TV, so if I need to use it, because my wife and I actually we play in the living room together. We have computers on wheels, like laptops, and so we just we're sitting here talking. And if we want to see something together, we just stream it to the TV. If we want to watch YouTube or Hulu or whatever.
Yeah, that's how we have it set up here. I got a computer piped right into the TV. HDMI.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to get like this heirloom shit working. Oh, fuck. But you said
there was an heirloom vendor in Dalaran.
There might be, but then you need the coins, I guess, to get it. I was thinking more along the lines of like you're level 1 and you instantly have access to the heirloom gear, like right at the start or whatever. I thought that would be kind of neat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just added the heirlooms.
Yeah, I suppose you could do that. So your wife plays, you said?
Yeah, she enjoys it, but she's like touch or go with it. She really loves Battlegrounds. I mean, she could stay in the Battlegrounds all day long. She likes questing and all. It's okay, but right now she's not really playing. She's just got other interests. But at some point she might be like, "Yay!" and she starts playing again.
I don't even know if I want my girl. A lot of guys want their girlfriends to be gamers, but I just don't know if it's for them. No disrespect to female gamers. I know there's a few out there, but most women don't seem to like games. My girlfriend, a lot of people played WoW. A lot of females played WoW here. I remember early on. A lot of older females, actually. I think, with all due respect to the BDSM community, a lot of them like wore chains and like leather armor in real life and shit. so a little creepy for me. But my girlfriend, I won't even try to make her play this. So I could install it on the computer out there, but she is not a gamer. That's for sure.
Well, I'm 51 and my wife's 62. So her computer, like she didn't even have a computer when we met, and I was playing on Steam, and when Left 4 Dead came out, it was back in 2008,
I think,
or whatever.
Oh yeah, whatever it was. Yeah.
And she loved zombies. She loved pop culture and all that. And she saw me playing it. She was like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's Left 4 Dead, dude." I had to get her a computer. I had to set her up, and that was it. And she got bad. She was like, not going to work, and she's a nurse, so she was like calling out, and I'm like, what are you doing home? She's like, I don't feel good. And I'm like, yeah, okay. She had like 2,000 friends, man, playing Left 4 Dead. It was bad. It really was. But then she cycles, she gets into it, and then she's like, all right, I've done it. But she loves WoW for the pop culture. There's so much pop culture in WoW, man.
Oh yeah, Left 4 Dead. Didn't that have like a healer class? I remember passing out medkits.
No, I forgot the med pack item or the pills.
Oh, Phil's here. Yeah. I remember that.
Man, it was great. We still play it in October. Every October we do like this Halloween thing. We watch the Monsters. We watch Halloween. We do a whole thing. We play Left 4 Dead.
Cool. That's cool.
It's
By
like
the way, I was going to ask about Left 4 Dead. Do you remember if they have the red cross on those med kits?
Is this a what do you call it? Does it have, you know, like, what do they call that, man? When you believe something but
and
it's not true?
No. Mandela effect?
Yeah.
No, because
I don't remember. I'm gonna say yes.
The Red Cross organization that gives blood or whatever the fuck they do, they help in emergency situations. They're fucking down on games having red crosses in them, dude. They're going after everybody. They think they own that fucking logo, the Red Cross. And so they forced Bethesda, the company that now owns the Doom IP, the game Doom. So they re-released Doom or whatever on Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, and recently again on the PC. And you don't see the Red Cross anymore. They replace it with a green, toxic-looking fucking poison cross. And there was another version where there was no Red Cross, but they turned it into a fucking pill shape, like a red and white pill. And like nobody's challenging the Red Cross saying, hey, this was in the original fucking games. Don't tell us to modify game. No, nobody's challenging them. They just say, okay, yes, sir. Okay, we'll remove it. And they're destroying the aesthetics in these games. The games have always had med kits in them. And they've always had Red Crosses. And now Red Cross is coming around trying to push people around saying that we own the Red Cross, bitch. We do. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, dude. So I was just asking because I swear I remember seeing a Red Cross in Left 4 Dead, and now I wonder if they like actively removed it now. Like,
well, I've got it installed, so I'm gonna find out for you, for both of us, because I don't know.
Oh shit. Okay. Cool. Fuck, man, there's alliance everywhere on my realm. Jesus. They're always coming after me too. They don't even target anybody else. They come straight after my ass. Fucker. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to level here and get some shit done. Trying to listen to an audiobook and crap. There's people that are still having lots of trouble with installing WoW though, which is really strange to me. One guy said that he can't, when he runs the git clone command, that's when you git clone Azerothcore and you git clone the player bots. He says he's getting some curl error, and I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I've never seen it before. And I gave him my Discord info. I don't think he's added me yet. Oh, somebody did. Hold on. This might be I might have to add this guy and help him out, because that's fucking strange to me. But every time I like try to help people out with the like screen sharing and shit, a lot of times they have fucked up networks.
Yes.
Like they'll have like multiple routers. They'll have weird IP addresses. Like, it might not be weird to people, but local IPs that are 10.0.0.1 or whatever is strange to me. I'm so used to 192.168 whatever. I don't want to see these 10. I'm not saying that'll fuck me up automatically, but I'm just saying like they have weird routing or something. I don't know what they're doing, but they can ping Google, they can do this other shit, but then we go to try to download in their little Linux VM, like it's slow as shit. It's like everybody's Wi-Fi now. And that's a whole different issue. If you got slow Wi-Fi, you've got to change your channels. There's channel options in your router to use a different frequency. And you guys got to do that stuff. And I can't help everybody with shit like that.
No. And every router's different. Like, you did it software through the VM. I actually made my router static through the router.
Right. For the IP, right?
Right.
That's the smart way to do it. That's how I do it. But I did it the way I did it in the videos because I didn't think everybody would have that option in their routers. Some people don't have that option to make a static IP in the router based on your MAC address. See, you know more than the average person.
A little bit.
Don't sell yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just doing that, I think, is pretty important because then you know your IP is never going to change. But what about opening ports? Have you opened it up to the internet?
Yes. Yeah, I can have people join.
Oh, okay. Cool. That's cool. So I added this guy. I don't know if he's going to call me, though. Is he here? No. Well, he added me, but he's not saying anything right now. I'm probably going to stop streaming and help this guy out if he ends up calling me. Just because you could screen share on what we're using now, but obviously you don't need to do that right now. It's the only thing that I don't like about Jitsi, the thing that we're using right now, is that you can't drag and drop images like you can on Discord. You ever use Discord?
Oh yeah, I have Discord. We've talked on Discord.
Oh, okay. Well, on Discord you can drag and drop images, and that's really nice. Can't do that on my Jitsi server. I wish maybe they'll change that sometime, but that would require probably a lot of work. So when you level in WoW, do you use BOA gear? Do you use those bind on account items?
It depends. Sometimes I just find items like the what's the Dragon Blight quest that you do at the end? Anyway, you get Ren's leggings, or the Horde gets their leggings, whatever it is, and there's no level requirement for that. So
I'm trying to remember. Where was that at? That was in Dragonblade?
The gate. Yeah, the gate. The gate quest.
Oh.
At the end. You know that whole thing, and then you got to go to the Undercity, and
yeah.
If you look up those items, there's no level requirement on those items.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And there's a lot out there that you can look and see that they're higher level, but they're better than the heirloom stuff.
Wow, really?
And it'll last you a long time. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I got to 70, I just gave me all the tier 5 gear or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do the whole Outland, and I took like months to do Outland. I'd just play a little bit, and then I'd get off. I got other stuff I got to do.
Yeah.
And it was fun just to get on, and I don't have to deal with people, and I can just do my thing. I can teleport everywhere.
Yeah. You can go at your own pace, man, and they're not impatient with you.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm telling you. Anybody that's played WoW, I'm like, dude, you got to check this out, man. It's really cool. And you could give people, if you know them and you're really cool with them and you feel pretty good, you could give them level 2 GM, and it allows them to do certain things in the game, like teleport around and stuff. But they can't like delete an NPC. If you look up the GM commands, you can see the level like 1 or 0, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Yep. So I haven't done that yet, but I have given just recently a friend that flying mount, and he went straight to Hydril and was like flying around Hydril.
Oh man.
And he was like, "Oh shit, I've never seen this place before." I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty neat, huh?" You can just explore. And I have the warden shit turned off too. By default, it's on in Azerothcore. And I haven't seen it like actually activate and get yourself banned. Imagine that you just disconnect and you try to connect and it says, "Sorry, your account's been fucking suspended" on your own server. Can you imagine that shit? So I haven't done that yet. I think that'd be another thing to test. It's so huge. I can't believe how huge it is. Not just the world, but in terms of like what you can do in it. And the different types of modes you can play. You can go all PvP. You can go RP if you want and just fucking walk everywhere like some weird people do. And you can get totally immersed in it.
Whatever you want, and take your time with it. I will say this, though, that the seasonal events, if you look in the sequel files, they end in 2030. So I don't know if you can update those, or will AC update those eventually.
You can, I'm sure. I know what you're talking about, the events. Oh, speaking of events, fuck. It's active right now. Shit, I gotta kill these guys fast.
By the way, the Red Cross med pack has the Red Cross on it.
Okay, well that's fucking weird. Why did they get
Left 4 Dead 1? I don't know about Left 4 Dead 2.
That's weird. Why did they get away with it then? I don't know why they get away with that shit.
Maybe they don't know about it yet.
I gotta go to the Goldshire kids or wherever the fuck. Where the fuck were they?
Yeah, it's past for me because I'm an hour ahead of you. I'm in the East Coast.
Event. I gotta look at this active list to see if this is fucking right. Yeah, it's active. Fuck. I don't remember where the fuck they are though. They start off in that fucking... God damn it, I forgot now. I think they might be at Stormwind right now. I think they spawn in the house, and then they walk up to... God damn it, it's been 2 minutes. I was gonna fucking go right at 8. Let's see if they're up here though. They might be up here. So, you ever seen the Children of Goldshire?
No, you got me interested in it, but...
Oh man.
I'm an hour ahead of you.
Okay. Well, you
So
never.
It's 9 o'clock for me.
So you never heard of it?
Nope.
Holy shit. So even on YouTube. Oh, here they come right here. There they come. Okay, so I'm gonna follow him, dude. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's fucking weird, man. Let me turn it up and shit. So these kids like come out of one of the houses at this time. This is them. It's this. They walk like in a pentagram shape. And they go to Stormwind, and then they like kind of like mosey around and stuff. And if you follow them, they go to like Goldshire one more time, and then they go to the woods and do some shit. And then they end up going into a house up on the top floor of a house, and then like weird sounds start happening in your game, like you will die. I swear to God.
What?
I swear to God, dude.
I'm seeing it on the live now.
Yeah. See, they're just standing there, man. Fucking weird kids. This is Children of Goldshire. It's actually a while. Well, they sit here for like 11 minutes, I think. So that's quite a while where they kind of stand around. But there's videos on YouTube from like way back in, I think, Vanilla or TBC when people started noticing this shit. And they started noticing like these kids come out and do this shit. It scared the crap out of so many people. Because it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of creepy, man. You know, kids doing weird shit, you know, and like standing in pentagram shapes, and they hear fucking sounds start happening up on the 3rd floor. It's
Wonder if Horde side does it.
No, they don't. This has been in the game for a long time. Nobody's really had an explanation. But that's kind of... also, there was Predation Isle. If you ever heard of Predation Isle. Where the fuck was that again? That was outside of Hillsbrad. There it is right there. It's south of Azerlode Mine in Hillsbrad Foothills. Or South Shore.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. Yeah.
So you've been to that little Perdition Isle?
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember what happens when you go there?
No, huh?
Dude, the whole sky turns fucking dark. You get this creepy music that comes on, and like you're fighting these ghosts, really. And they're really tough, too. So you can't really go there alone. I think they're like level 60, which is kind of strange because it's right off that coast of a low-level area. And I guess it has something to do with like lore and shit. Because I vaguely remember going there during Vanilla, and there was no explanation anywhere like what this place was or but we were just kind of like exploring one day, and we kind of came across it, and we started getting our asses kicked on that fucking island. But some people consider it like a pretty creepy place because it's just everything kind of changes, the mood changes, the music changes. It's like a whole different. It's like you're entering a different dimension almost. But there's also, you know about the dead kids in Nagrand, right?
No.
What? Okay. Oh my God, dude, you don't know anything about that shit.
No.
In Nagrand, in Outland, Nagrand, very north, it's called Laughing Skull Ruins. There's a kind of a mountain between Nagrand and Zangarmarsh. There's a little nursery there. You'll see this woman, I think, this female Tauren, I think it is, up there with a nursery and stuff, and it looks like a little playground, you know, like where kids are hanging out. There's tiny little baby night elves, I think, a baby like dwarf or something, little tiny kids, right? But then you go around to the back of the house, and you see inside of cages like kid skeletons, the skeletons of children, like in cages.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty weird.
I'm gonna check that out. That'll be cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dead kids is cool. Okay. No, I'm just fucking. But no, there's a lot of weird things that you'll find in this game. Also, you know about the Karazhan Crypts, I'm sure.
Down below. Yeah, I mean, I've seen people get into it. I never have because I was like, well, you know, I could, but I just hadn't done it.
Yeah.
But I've seen people on YouTube get in there.
Yeah, they use like a mage, I think, to be able to teleport somehow through the wall. I've never got in there while it was closed, I don't think. But I do remember later on, I don't know if you know this, but later on, Blizzard did open it up when you did this like secret shit. And you could permanently open it up on your character and go down there anytime you wanted. So I thought that was kind of neat. But down there, you'll find in the water, deep down, dark in the fucking Karazhan
The hanging people.
Yeah, you'll find dead corpses hanging upside down from chains underwater. I mean, it doesn't get much more grotesque than that.
That area is pretty dark.
Yeah. So I've always liked like World of Warcraft. It seems so cheery and happy and fun, right? Just fun, but like there's some dark parts to it. You see a lot of corpses hanging from trees and shit, like in right by Karazhan too. Where the fuck was that again?
Yeah, and Thor. What's the boss, the electrical boss that's made out of children and women in Naxxramas?
Oh yeah, that too.
That's pretty dark.
And you hear people too.
Screaming.
Please help me.
Have you been to GMI yet?
Yeah, I made a video about it. It's one of my more popular videos on this channel. Well, it was more about seeing at 15,000 view distance. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh my god. So on top of Hyjal, during Cataclysm, on top of Hyjal, you can get really high up. There was a little tool called like the Wall Machinima tool or something like that, or Free Foresight or something, that you can install on your computer, and you can get rid of all the fog in this game. You can do it right now for this client. But it takes you have to patch the fucking client itself. It's called Large Address Aware, I think. So because when you take the fog out of this game and increase the view distance, it takes a lot more memory.
Oh yeah.
It takes 64 bits worth of memory essentially. So your 32-bit client won't work as good. So you have to patch it. But after you do that, I could see from Hyjal all the way to Tanarus.
Wow.
That's like the whole continent essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of my more popular videos on this very channel. So people couldn't believe it because I did that in like 2011 or something, maybe 2012, on a pretty weak GPU. And back then, I don't know if you remember, but graphics cards did not have a built-in encoder, like an NV encoder. In other words, like it didn't record video of what you're looking at in hardware. You had to do it in software, which takes a lot of CPU to do that. So I was recording, getting like 5 frames per second. And some people were impressed because they knew the hardware that was available. They're like, damn, you fucking could see that far and all that shit, and you were still kind of able to like move around and crap. Yeah. But other people are like, LOL, bro, you're only getting 5 frames per second. Your computer sucks and shit like this. I'm like, dude, it's recording in software.
You realize?
Yeah. But video cards, people, they don't appreciate video cards that have hardware encoding on them now. That's amazing. So that essentially means you don't have to buy a hardware encoder anymore. You used to have to buy a separate encoding card, a capture card, in your computer to record smoothly. Mm-hmm. But video cards now have them built in. You don't need to do that anymore. It's really nice. So I'm streaming right now, and that's why like my frame rate is still really good.
Yeah.
And it's because it's using the NV encoder, the NV Ink, it's called.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I remember recording in software, and it
Fraps. Yeah, Fraps.
Oh, I had some shitty CPUs and GPUs back then. I couldn't afford the good stuff, man.
Yeah. Do you have you still have your original screenshots when you played this game?
They might be somewhere. I don't know.
So you're not a hoarder like I am. I collect and I hoard everything, man. I save all that shit.
I noticed in magazines and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Comic books.
Yeah. I'm hosting a website with all those magazines too.
Yeah, I downloaded one of them.
Did you?
I don't remember which one because I was going to get them all. I was like, dude, he's got all kind of stuff, man. And he's just giving it away. I'm like, I'd like to have this because it's history, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And I like the way you do things, man. You realize that this is the internet and it should be free, and we should disperse it freely. And I don't know, it's just kind of sticking it to the man, and it's also history too.
Right. And I don't think I should have to rely on a company to get something, especially when they set it up in such a way that they can take it away from you again.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that so much. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, even if I don't like somebody, I'll still send them shit and help them out, you know?
Yeah.
I don't have to like somebody.
But you're not going to hold her hand either.
Right.
You got to know a little something.
Yeah.
Because you can't, I mean, it's just too complicated to be able to like explain something to somebody, and you're smart and you know a lot, but you can't get it in their head.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't they don't invest the time into computers and stuff. And as weird as it might sound, I spend a lot of time on the internet and computers and stuff, but I don't know as much as like some of the smarter people, obviously.
Dude, you know a lot, man.
There's coders out there, and I've never coded anything. I mean, I've made adjustments.
It goes deep.
It
man.
does.
I mean, yeah.
I'm more of a general knowledge guy, you know. I have kind of an umbrella knowledge about things, a very shallow knowledge of a lot of different things. I don't have deep knowledge about many subjects. There's a couple subjects I have kind of deep knowledge in, but still, like because I know smart people. I've talked to them. I'm friends with smart people, and I could never have their level of intelligence. And I know that I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know something I don't, because guys that know what they're talking about, they're generally kind of in the background. They don't generally have YouTube channels, and they don't have big mouths like I do, you know. So they're kind of behind the scenes doing the real smart shit. But you know, I appreciate their knowledge and their insight on things. They don't go around like me and try to correct anybody. They don't, you know, they're just doing all the work behind the scenes, and they know what they're talking about. It's some of the memories these really smart people have. I wish I had a memory like them. I have a friend who can tell you exactly the differences between all versions of Rayman, for instance, like the PlayStation game Rayman.
Yeah.
And there's an Atari Jaguar version. There's a Sega Saturn version. Like, he'll tell you all the differences between that and, like, you know, the resolution they all run at. Like, just from the top of his head, he knows all this shit.
Same thing. Autistic.
Well, no, actually, he's pretty fucking normal. And
My
he's
son's like that. He's autistic, man. I mean, he comes up with the stuff like, you can ask him something simple. He's like, he has no interest in it. That's the way autistic people are. Like their brains only light up for certain things, but they're really way out there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's on the edge where, like, he knows a lot, but he's not quite Dirk. You know, he doesn't have, like, social problems.
Yeah.
In fact, I kind of blame myself for him making a YouTube channel, because I wanted him to kind of, like, share his insight on things, and he's done that. And, like, he's the guy who made basically the only YouTube video on the internet about how to disable what's called HDCP on your video card, your NVIDIA video card. Do you have NVIDIA or AMD? Do you know?
NVIDIA. It's a laptop. I have a 1660 Ti in it.
Okay.
It's old.
Yeah. Well, so there's something that's enabled by default on all NVIDIA cards. It's called HDCP, and that is essentially a way for websites or other material to prevent you from copying things, because it's like supposedly DRM, right? Like if you're watching a movie, a Blu-ray or something, well, they don't want you to instantly just screen record and just copy a movie. That'd be too easy, right? So they have this thing called HDCP that's enabled by default. Well, he made a video showing how to disable that shit. And a lot of people are having issues like connecting monitors to laptops, or trying to stream from their computers, or trying to do certain things. And they keep getting like black screens, and they can't find out why. Well, they do a YouTube search and they find my friend's video, and they realize, oh shit, it's called HDCP, and I can just disable it. You have to go into your registry in Windows to disable it, but it's nice. It's stupid that it's enabled by default, because it takes CPU cycles or GPU cycles to have that shit enabled, and there's really no reason it needs to be. It's another way to prevent you from recording your screen, copying things for certain material, which is stupid. So you should see some of the comments. Like, people love the guy. They're like, holy fuck, thank you. You fucking fixed my problem I was having for months or whatever.
Well, they don't want people. I mean, they're working together, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting because Blizzard is currently going after Turtle WoW.
Yep, I saw that.
Do you ever played on that? Probably not.
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm. I have a level 60 druid and a warlock on there.
So is that a different client?
Yes. In fact, the client, you download a client that downloads it for you, and it does all the add-ons and manager and everything. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It seems to be a modded Wrath of the Lich King client.
Yeah.
Like they've just disabled part of the world and just do vanilla world.
Mm.
Those people are smart, man. I mean, to come up with their zones and quests and all, I'm like, dude, that's amazing.
Are there bots in it? Do you know?
No, it would be nice, because sometimes the battlegrounds don't work out. It'd be nice if you could just make the bots do battlegrounds to fill out the spaces. But honestly, you don't need it now. I got on the other day just to see what was going on, and it was like 4,600 people.
Yeah.
online, just on the East Coast server. Oh no, it was my characters are on the European server. But still, that's a lot.
So, well, it's Blizzard goes after shit like that, and
Oh yeah.
and it's kind of interesting that they can't seem to go after Azerothcore and other like sea mangoes and stuff. Do you know why?
Because it's not really the server.
Yeah, because it's text that people invented. It's not Blizzard's text. You know, I wish the fucking source code for World of Warcraft would get leaked, but it hasn't yet.
Well, that's where all that sniffing comes from, I believe, because I hear them talk about that on the forums. We're sniffing, and I didn't understand that, and I got to read, and I'm like, oh, they're actually playing the game and getting data while they play the game.
Yep.
And then recoding it.
Yep. I don't think many people did that during Vanilla and Wrath Lich King, or during those days. I think maybe a couple people did. But
they were too busy playing the game.
Yeah, I know. So that's why a lot of people don't have that kind of foresight to think, oh shit, it's going to be shut down or it's going to disappear at some time, you know. So we better start collecting. Well, and then Blizzard themselves, who fucking own the game, they even said they lost the source code and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they had to like put it back together, and
they found an old blade that was like it had it on there, and that's where it came from.
Like, and that's notorious. That's not abnormal. That's actually pretty typical of companies. They lose access to that kind of stuff, and that's why it's so important for people. Yeah, for people to get
backup.
Yeah, and people to get their hands on that stuff and then share it and leak it, and make sure that shit doesn't get lost. And so far, I think we've done pretty good. The internet has done pretty good about that stuff until kind of more recently with all the cell phone people who think that they own things now.
Well, it's just to dumb them down. They don't want you into that. They want you, one world government, under their thumb,
Yeah.
All that stuff doesn't exist. It's, you're stuck behind this wall.
Well, that's the perception, especially now with Google's going to try to block you from installing your own apps on Android. They just kind of recently announced that they're going to make it more difficult for you to install your own apps on your own fucking device. So, they keep trying things like that. It was so funny. They were begging for us early on the internet. Corporations were begging for us to just give them some money and, please pay to read the news. Please pay us. And we're like, no, dude, the internet, we don't pay for fucking text on the internet. That's insane. And so a lot of them closed. A lot of them shut down shop and bailed out, and they're really pissed off about it. Like, oh, you suck, you fucking internet cheapskates or whatever. Well, good, fuck off. That's not what we do here. And then, cell phones kind of came along, and I watched it with my own eyes. I watched corporations and marketing just fucking steamroll people.
Yep.
And now people think, oh man, that's the place to go, man. If you want to upload something, you put it on YouTube. No, you upload shit on YouTube and they instantly delete it, copyright this, sensitive that. You can't, like the original Onyxia animation. Do you remember that? 50 DKP minus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That whole thing, the original video's gone on YouTube.
What?
It's gone. The only things you'll find left are edited, censored versions of it. Tail stripe fucking fade. That bit. That was hilarious. The original version's gone off YouTube.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Because I think it was like the rend. It was too bloody or something. I don't know exactly why, but that tail swipe, maybe the girl's ass was too seen or too sensitive. I don't know. I don't know why YouTube just blows, dude. They fucking blow. I keep trying to tell people, but they just don't fucking believe me. So yeah. So now the only ones you'll see on YouTube, it's the audio's still there, but the video, the original's gone. So you have to find the original. You have to find the original somewhere else. Again, I'll say it again. I've said it a lot of times. If you want actual uncensored communication, uncensored media, uncensored material on the internet, your first step is to leave YouTube, because you won't find it here. Watch this. I'll say something right now that you can't type on YouTube. Faggot. There.
Right.
There, you can't type. Go ahead, type that on YouTube. Show me. Yeah, you can't do it. So my Jitsi Meet server is better than YouTube in that case, like in terms of communication.
Yeah.
But a lot of people stick to YouTube and want to like talk with me there, and I'm like, no, dude, it sucks. I feel constrained trying to communicate with people on YouTube.
Well, it's a shame people don't want to use or try to use different streaming services like BitChute and Odyssey.
Yeah. Sorry if you got kids behind you. I didn't even think of that.
I have headphones on.
Okay,
and
cool.
My son's 26 and he's in the bed sleeping.
All right, cool.
He's got to work. He works the night shift.
Yeah.
Well, someday anyway.
Yeah. So, you got one of those headsets with a mic built in it?
Yes, it's I have a MSI. It came with the laptop. It was like it came with the deal. It was an MSI, but it's an MSI headset. And for some reason, if I go to 24 or 32 bit, it makes that electric sound. I don't know why.
Well, I think my mic is only. Actually, you know what? I think it's 24 bit. Actually, I just bought a new mic, dude. You know how much this mic was? Like $400 or $500.
There you go.
Isn't that insane? Well, I didn't want to spend this much money, but I bought one for like 160. It was like a Rode. And if you watch my 2025 Azerothcore video on this channel, the 2025, it kind of sounds like this. It's like muffled and shit. I'm like, this is like $170. What the fuck is that shit? So this one is 24.
Name branding and just everything's from cheap China. And it really doesn't matter.
The mic I bought here is, it's a Shure SM7DB. And it's like, it has the 20 dB loudness increase or whatever. But I'm looking at the screen now and it goes up to 32-bit, 384 kilohertz, which is insane.
Right.
I'm only on 2496 right now as I'm talking to you, but it goes up to 32-bit, 384 kilohertz, which is, so yeah, but it's a really expensive mic though. The good thing though, I haven't had a single issue with it though. It isn't as loud as I wish it was, even with this 20 decibel increase. Without the 20 decibel increase, it'd sound like probably like this.
Right.
Yeah, so having the 20 decibel increase is good. But then again, you can kind of increase it with software. Like I have you increased because I had it because you were kind of quiet. So I had it.
Yeah, this mic's always been low. Everybody says that.
Yep. So I had to increase you. So anybody like on YouTube right now is hearing you louder than I hear you. So you're probably about equal as me right now. So that was software modification.
Mm-hmm.
So I think these kids are about to go in, and that's when it gets creepy. Right now it's just kind of standing around, but that's fine. It says they proceed in the wood. Oh, they're going to go to the woods next, and that's a short one. That's only like 6 minutes in the woods. I don't know when they're going to do that. But after they go to the woods, that's when they come back to the house, and one of the girls runs away. And
breaks the pentagram.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Like, I'm not superstitious or anything. When I was younger, I used to kind of be. I believed in like ghosts and that you can summon like spirits and shit like that. Maybe not to that degree, but I was always kind of scared about because I didn't know, it's like, but I know better now. So it doesn't creep me out, but it's just weird. It's just weird in general.
I like all those ghost shows, and you're like, and they get you hyped up, and they cliffhang to a commercial, and then they come back, and they're like, nah, it really didn't happen. And then they cliffhang you again, you get y'all excited, and then they're like, here's a commercial, and then it's like, nah, it didn't happen.
Yeah, you know what kind of actually snapped me out of my superstitious beliefs? My uncle, actually, who I didn't really talk with all that much growing up, but one day we were at the grocery store as a family. And there was, you remember those fucking National Enquirers on the... Yeah. It was like Bat Boy or it was like Loch Ness Monster found or something like that. And I remember as a kid, I was like, oh, like, is that real? Did they really, find this Bat Boy guy or whatever? And my uncle, he turned to me, he's like, no, if it were true, it'd be all over the news, not just this one newspaper. And I'm like, shit, that's a good point. I'm like this young dumbass. But nobody ever put it to me that way before. Like, yeah, if this were real, it'd be everywhere. It wouldn't be just this one National Enquirer newspaper. Because that's huge. Like a Bat Boy, dude, with bat ears and shit and bat teeth. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that kind of started making me think more skeptically than I was at the time. I was so dumb, you could have sold me a left-handed screwdriver.
Although I think the media will censor things depending on what their political views are. That's why I like ground news. I don't know if you use it, but it gives you snippets of headlines, and it lets you know what side is promoting that, or if it's equal.
Oh, yeah.
Like if it's more liberal or Republican.
I think Reuters was the more central one, I think, if I remember right.
I don't remember.
Or Fair or whatever. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. They have like leanings, yeah. But then again, I'm not a big fan of news anyway. I think the best source of information, the best human knowledge in general exists in the scientific arena. You can go to scholar.google.com and you can search anything there. You can search BattleNet, Blizzard, World of Warcraft, all sorts of things, and like AIDS, vaccines, anything. It's the collection of human knowledge, but very few people use it. But anytime you see a news story later on, and maybe you'll see it in your lifetime, cure for cancer actually found this time. Guess where that's going to come from? That doesn't come from news companies. News stations don't do any work. That came from a scientific paper.
They're too busy being political.
Right. So that information, that research, that knowledge came from a scientific paper, which a lot of people don't have access to. But on the internet, we can access those scientific papers. That is the height of human knowledge right there. That's where our discoveries come from. That's where our technology comes from. That's where all the smart people collaborate. Because if you want credit for your invention, if you want credit for your discovery, you need to publish a scientific paper. You don't go to the news and say, check out what I got. Because that doesn't mean shit.
No,
the news is like,
proof.
yes, news is secondary. The first primary thing you do is you publish a paper. That's what they did with E equals MC squared. You know, Einstein, he published a paper.
White machine, warp machine.
Yes. Yeah, he published a paper, and you can go download this original German language published papers yourself right now, and you can see it for yourself. That's where it originated, and that's how you establish yourself, and because that is peer reviewed. Other scientists look at your shit and see if it meshes with reality, and you're scrutinized, you're criticized, you're scrutinized. People like, especially with Einstein, he had like no sources. You're supposed to like cite your sources where you got your, like, standing on the shoulders of giants. Like, I got my information, some of my information here, and I did it here. He almost had no citations. So like, how the fuck did he do this?
If I'm not mistaken, he didn't have like a really high education. He just was really freaking smart.
Right.
Like, he just saw stuff. And
yep.
I don't think he went to Harvard or anything like that.
Nope. He just thought about it. And that's what blew people's minds. Not only did he think about it, it turned out to be actually true. And one of his predictions was that if relativity or like gravity is, it's all relative. You'll be able to see during an eclipse, he said, you'll be able to see light behind the sun for the first time ever, because it's going to bend light around the sun during an eclipse. And they're like, yeah, right. And they set up their telescopes and shit. Eclipse came, and he was fucking right. How did he know that the light would bend in such a way that you'll be able to see gravitational lensing? He predicted it, and it was true. Same thing with black holes. We predicted black holes were real before we ever discovered them. And that's all mathematics, man. I mean, these people are really fucking smart.
Isaac Newton, jeez, man. That dude was smart.
Right. He's considered the smartest genius that ever walked the planet. That dude was plugged in, man.
I mean, he just looked at gravity, and just to go from something he sees on Earth and realize that there's gravity, and then to come find, didn't he find Neptune? He predicted Neptune.
I don't remember if that was him or not. Maybe.
Just from the way the planets pull.
Yeah.
I think it was. I don't know.
Yeah, he invented calculus on a dare, pretty much. Calculus, which fucking students are struggling with right now in school. Like, the dude just kind of invented it like in a month or something like that. Also, I'm sure people have listened to Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Pink Floyd fan.
There you go. Of course, the cover is the prism with the light going in and turning into rainbow. That's Isaac Newton.
I've got the collector set that's got all the CDs from the first one with Sid when it was still in the band, all the way to the last one they did. I forget what it was.
Not Division Bell, right?
No, Division Bell wasn't on there because that was David Gilmour had separated from Roger Waters. They're politically separate. David is liberal and Roger's more Republican.
Yep. Yeah, I'm subscribed to Roger Waters' channel. He's kind of a dumbass sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. He gets a little out there, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm conservative, but you need to back off a little bit.
Yeah. So Roger Waters, of course, wrote Dark Side of the Moon and The Wall. And then after that, I think they kind of broke up after that, if I remember. Partially through Division Bell or something like that. But yeah, it's...
Kurt Comfortably Numb was they weren't even together. I guess they were having issues being around each other. So if you listen, the verse is in Roger Waters is singing, and the chorus is David Gilmour.
Yep.
And they weren't even near each other. They would send the tapes to a mixer, and that person put them together.
Yeah, same thing with Mother. Same thing. David Gilmour comes in with the Mama Will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the best version of that album. There's so many versions of each one of those albums, and like the best version of Dark Side of the Moon to me is the quad vinyl. Now, what the fuck is a quad vinyl? It's a 4-channel vinyl.
Yeah,
dude.
quad. Yeah.
And it sounds so good. Somebody ripped it, of course, and released the FLAC files, so you could just share it on the internet now. But I think like Great Gig in the Sky, it sounds so good, dude. It sounds better than any other version I have. And I have the 7.1 Blu-ray, or is it 5.1? I forget. And I'm saying that the quad vinyl still sounds better to me.
Oh, vinyl. Yeah, vinyl sounds great.
Well, I mean, especially if you rip it with a really expensive vinyl setup. So yeah, dude, I love fucking music, dude. I go out of my way to get the best versions of albums. And so I was going to say about Dark Side of the Moon is that prism on the front, which of course they've talked about in interviews that was the one they instantly picked out of a selection of different covers, because it just jumps out at you.
Oh yeah.
But that was Isaac Newton's finding. He found that the sunlight it contains all the colors of the rainbow, and nobody had really thought like that before. So he proved it with the prism splitting.
He was smart.
Yep. So yeah, that's why I love science, dude. I didn't always love science. I kind of thought scientists were arrogant cocksuckers at first when I was younger, because they rejected God and they rejected the afterlife and stuff. And back then I believed in it, and I was like, and they were trying to naturally explain things like, oh, the reason why you see the light at the end of the tunnel is because your brain is lacking oxygen. And I said, fuck you. I was pissed. But I don't think that way anymore. They turned out to be right. That's the reason why we see that shit. We hallucinate when we lack oxygen. So I used to believe in all sorts of fucking shit like that. But even though I don't believe that stuff anymore, I still find like this children event here kind of fascinating,
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
How long does it last? An hour?
No, it's only like 30 minutes, I thought. They should be going back pretty soon. When they go back, that's when it gets kind of really weird.
You're past 30 minutes, so it must last a little bit longer than that.
Yeah. I haven't done this in a while, but
yeah.
But it's amazing. When I went through the code, dude, I was like, do they have this event in this Azeroth core? And when I found out they did, I was like, that's awesome, because I never experienced it in the real game. I've seen videos of it, but I was just never around at the time. And if I was fucking busy blowing shit up. I never was really thinking to go check it out. But yeah, there's all sorts of there's all sorts of events though that are in the game that you can kind of stop down and the developers put back in, and you can experience. Now the other thing is that, what's that guy's name? Kazakh or something in Blasted Lands, that big fucker?
Yeah.
Is he even in this? I forget. Have you fought that guy?
I think he is.
Because I remember seeing an old vanilla video where like a paladin somehow went up and started attacking him, and then like he used his bubble and he got a few hits off, and then I don't know, I think it kind of ruined the raid or whatever, that they were about to attack him. And
so I'm on Wowhead under the Wrath database, and it shows him over there in the Badlands.
But I've never seen him in there when I flew over there in this Azeroth core, which is weird. Do you have to spawn him somehow? I totally freaking forget.
I don't know. Let me see if I'll get on my server and see if he's there.
Maybe it's one of those, I don't know. There's a few things. There's that Doom guy, whatever his name is. He's in front of
Hellfire.
Yeah. It was in Shadowmoon Valley, right in front of the Black Temple. He dropped these really nice epics that were BOE that you could sell in the auction house. But I haven't seen him in this version either. I forgot his name now. But he's another big bastard that you need like a full raid to do. Have you ever done a full 40-man raid in Azeroth Core yet?
I've done Black Temple, and I did some of my own bots that I have. Because when I do a bot, I save it in my friends, and I add it to my guild.
Yeah.
So I know that this is my bot, and I put a note as to what they are.
Okay. Well,
and that way I don't keep making a bunch of bots, which ties up the whole database. And
I see what. Yeah, I see. But then again, like
and then I added random people, and then so I've done that, and I've done Gruul's Lair, and let's see, Karazhan. Now Karazhan's hard because the bots don't know what to do with the chess pieces.
Oh.
So you have to do die and kill out a lot of the chess pieces so you can actually do it.
Oh.
You will not win it to get past, and you can't do that.
I've
So
soloed chess before,
but
maybe not in Wrath, but I've soloed the chess event later on.
I could never do it, man. I'm stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when we did it on live, man, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I understand chess,
but it's not real chess. It's really weird. I have two macros, one to get into the piece and the other one to get out. So that's what I use on my hunter. So there's a time limit after you get out. I think it's like 5 seconds where you can have to get into another one. I put a space between each piece in the front row, and I kind of line up in like a wave pattern, and then I move the far ones on the absolute left and right. I move them, I think, kitty corner and try to face straight, I think. So I have them set up in a certain way, and then I get in the queen and I start blasting him. And I keep the king and the queen out of fire. That's all I remember. And then I think I actually made a video about that, how to do
I'd like to see that, because I've never been able to do it.
How to solo the chess event. Okay, the kids are going in. I'm going to shut up. Let's hang up, okay?
Okay,
because I'm going to listen to this. All right. All right, I'm going to shut up and listen to this stuff.
eerie, satanic music.
You will die.
Oh my god. Music.
You will die.
Oh my god. Tell me you fucking heard that. I do not feel safe right now. Yo, I need like a fucking hug or some shit.
That's the children of Goldshire. It's a lot of time to follow those kids around and stuff, right? But it's pretty strange. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back to leveling for a little while. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna break. Maybe I'll come back later.